Lock them up. Go ahead, open this up.
Our Father which art in... Oh, everybody stand. Women uncover their heads. Men uncover their heads. Women cover their heads. All right. Our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
Lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
Deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. We are question and answer. I'm trying to pull it up over here so I don't have to. I can see the questions. There we go. There we go. Huh? Beauty of technology. All right, y'all. We are. Okay. Oh. There we go. All right. Hey, Sister Jennifer, how are you? All right. Yeah, this is all mine up here. No, I don't. You can keep. I mean, yeah. All right. So, I got some questions. So, if you don't want to ask me again, you don't have to. But I'm going to put it out there. Do we have any questions? I'm looking for my notebook. Nashawn, bring me down one of them notebooks in there. One of them black notebooks. I gotta take notes. I'm sorry when I do Bible study. So go ahead. What was you about to say, Brother Stan? And I see.
I was just gonna say, add some more scriptures. I already get it.
Yeah.
We can, deal with Genesis verse 5 when it says we are God.
Genesis 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely.
Yeah. Can we say 1 Samuel chapter 28 and 13 is the same when it says she saw God's coming up? Because we already know in the Godhead is only the Father and the Son. But can you
Okay.
expound on that a little bit more?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you want me to hit yours first? Okay. So we'll hit Stan's question, then we'll hit the other question we got, and then I got another question in the house that we'll hit, and then we'll open back up the floor. So, Brother Stan's question, and he really has the answer already, but it's based off of scripture that we actually read today. So let's turn over to Genesis chapter 3. And it's not going to take long to see the script, to see the question, and or find the answer. And again, Genesis 3, and pick it up at verse 1. And when you get there, go ahead and start reading.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right, so notice what he's saying here. He's telling them the rules, and he said, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God said, don't eat it, nor don't touch it, and if you do, you're going to die. Go ahead.
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
So the serpent come off lying. You're not going to die. Go ahead.
For God doeth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
All right, so here's where the question come in. It's saying that you're going to be as gods. So the question is, who is Satan talking about? What is Satan talking about? And then also the question, piggybacks off of another scripture. So let's look at another scripture we read today. So let's go to 1 Samuel, what's that, 28?
Yeah, 28.
Chapter 28. And so here's the two spots where the question comes from. Again, we're looking at when Moses wrote what Satan said, which he said, you should be as us, as gods. He should be as gods. And then we're going to see again here what was stated in 2 Samuel chapter 28. So 2 Samuel chapter 28, and let's pick it up. Why your chair up so close? Why don't you back up a little bit? Yeah, there you go. Okay. 1 Samuel chapter 28, and let's pick it up at verse 11. Verse 11.
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee?
So this is the woman, we read this in the lesson today. This is the woman who had the familiar spirit. And she talking to Saul, and this is what she gonna say. Go ahead. Need a pen or something?
No, I was looking for water.
Oh, go ahead.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. Thank you. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
So here we see that she said she saw gods ascending out of the earth. Let's go to Job chapter 1. So the question is, are these any parallel to we should be as gods, and is there a parallel between that and when she said she saw God? So, and we talked about this a little bit during the lesson, that a lot of people identify God when you say God. Like, for example, brother asked me yesterday, who do we pray to? And I said we pray to God. He said, so you saying, so we pray to the Father? I said, no, I didn't say the Father. I said we pray to God. Because we are praying to the Father and the Son. But even then, I said we pray to God as if it was only two people that are God. And the reality is, that is not an accurate statement. And it sounds strange when you say it. It almost sounds like you're saying that there are multiple gods. And the Lord said, there is no other God but me. So I get that part, and we're going to look at that part, but we're going to understand why we see Adam saying gods and what is meant by that, gods. Why Satan said that, as well as why it was written here. So let's go to Job chapter 1, and let's pick it up at verse 6.
Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said to Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
All right, that's good. So notice what just happened here. The question is, where you coming from? But it says, verse 6, now there was a day when the sons of God. Now, when it says the sons of God, we all immediately understand and recognize those to be angels. Let's go back to Luke. Let's go to Luke chapter 20. We recognize those to be angels when it says sons of God. We're going to look at Luke 20 before I make my statement. Read this one. Put this one into the table. Luke chapter 20, and we're going to start this off at verse 34. So what we're trying to see is when Satan said you should be as gods, what knowing good and evil. We're going to go back to it. Who are the gods? What is he talking about? The Bible on occasions will refer to gods and be talking about more than one type of thing. And we'll see that in a minute too. Meaning the Bible is even called the elders the gods. So we don't have to be so scared of the term God as if we using it incorrectly, but by calling someone else that. But we'll understand what I mean by that, okay? Because there's a difference in God and the Most High God. So we'll get there. Luke 20 and pick it up at verse 32. 32, yeah.
Last of all, the woman died also.
So this woman had husbands, but her husbands kept dying, so she would get a new one. So finally, we down to all her husbands died. So she'd had 4 or 5 of them. Okay, go ahead.
Therefore, in the resurrection,
she had 7 of them.
Whose wife of them is she? For 7 had her to wife. And Jesus answering said unto them, the children of this world marry, and are given in marriage.
So immediately the question is, or the answer is, the children of this world are married and given marriage. And when he say they marry and give in marriage, we talking about have relations. There is no other, like that's all. Like I'm not gonna say that's all marriage is for. But if you ain't having relations in your marriage, a whole lot of marriage. You know what I mean? Like he tell, even in Corinthians, he say, give to the wife or husband, do benevolence. I think that's the right word. All right, go ahead.
But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry, nor are given in marriage. Neither can they die any more.
But what are they?
For they are equals unto the angels.
Okay, so when you resurrect, you're equal to the angels. Now, I can take you into Corinthians and show you that you're going to judge the angels. So we're not talking about equal in rank to the angels. But, go ahead.
And are the children of God.
But you're equal to an angel called a child of God. So what that means is, for example, let's take a child of a dog. A child of a dog is a snake, right?
No.
Oh, it's not a snake?
No.
Cat?
No.
Lion?
No.
Wolf? Dog.
It's a dog.
That's what a child of a dog is, a dog. So then if you're a child of God, then you are God. But now you aren't the most high God. See, watch this. Let's go to Isaiah real quick. And we're going to go to 2 spots in Isaiah. We're going to go to one spot where the Lord says he is God and there is none else. We're going to look at that first, because that's the one that throws you off. So we're going to go to chapter 40. What is that, 6 or 45? He established it, created the eye of the Lord. Oh, yeah, 45. So we're going to go to, what you say, bro? 46. Oh, it's in 46 too? All right, we're going to look at 45 first, and we'll look at 46 too. Start at verse 40, chapter 45, verse 15. Go ahead. Oh, she can't go up.
Verily art a God that hidest thyself, O God of Israel, the Savior.
Like, notice how this come off. Oh, God of Israel. Like, it's not even like, oh, God. It's like, this is, like, God really has a title. Like, you just God what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, God of Israel. Go ahead.
They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them.
Uh-huh.
They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols.
Uh-huh.
But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Go ahead.
For thus say the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth.
So notice what it just did. God himself that formed the earth. So when it say God himself, like immediately right there, what he's saying is, I did this. Not Hercules or Zeus, or not, in this case, it wasn't even Hercules or Zeus yet. Not Isis or Osiris or whatever Ashtoreth or whatever god we were dealing with that we correlated. Mithra or Hercules came later. But that's why I said not at this point. But whatever god that we was dealing with at that time, the Babylonian god, the Egyptian god, they didn't do this. This is what the Lord is telling. This is what the Lord is saying to, who is he talking to anyway? Israel? Look like he's just talking to Israel a lot. Yeah. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus. Oh, okay. Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand. So actually, he talking to a king here. So he telling the king, he say, look, they shall be ashamed and also confound all of them. They should go to the confusion together. They are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. He should not be ashamed nor confound in with world without end. For thus saith the Lord that created the heavens. So when I'm talking to this king of Tyrus, I'm about to tell you who I am. I'm the Lord that created the heavens. God himself that formed the earth and made it. So it's no mistaking who we talking about. He have established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord. And what?
I am the Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. For this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You got to learn the job. You got to stick with me even if I'm reading your part. He says, I am the Lord and there is none else. So he's saying there is no other God. But hold on. Couple chapters later. Matter of fact, let's get him again. You said the next chapter over? 46 you said? 46, yeah, read 46 and 9. Read that one. 46 and 9. So we gonna see this in here twice. Go ahead.
Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me.
What does God do? Keep
declaring
reading.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
Right, so this don't no other God do this. Now, when he's saying this, he is comparing himself to the gods of the nations, not to what is in heaven. He's saying that, hey, when it comes to any God, I'm God. The rest of y'all don't have God. We're not talking, at this point, we're not talking about what type of being who is. We're talking about who the world is saying is God versus who truly is God. This is what Isaiah is covering. Now, same book, but we're going to go over a couple of chapters. Chapter 56, I think. 57. And we're going to read verse 15 through 16. And then we're going to clear it up, Brother Stan. And it ain't going to take that long. When I say we're going to clear it up, I know you pretty clear on it. But again, I just want us to understand, because to me, the importance of all this is understanding that term God. Yeah, he called me. Okay. Yeah. That's who told me you had the question. Yeah, he called me. And I be doing DeMarcus dirty. I be like, man, read it, bro. Like, go read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think it is? He be like, what do you think? I'm like, what do you think it is? But no, DeMarcus my dude, so you know he know I'm not gonna leave him out there where he not gonna get the answer, but I make him put that work in, because I'm not gonna give you all the answers that I study for. Right, I'm gonna make you do something so you can have your plan. That's what this is all about, getting your own understanding. I'm giving you what I understand. You might not understand it this way, and that's perfectly your prerogative. I don't care if you don't understand it this way, as long as you don't come over here stealing. We good. Now you come over here. I don't care what you understand. You can believe Jesus is black and saving the world on atonement. And if you come over here stealing my donuts, we got problems. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. But again, each individual, you gotta go get your own understanding, and that is for real. Meaning, and when I say that, I mean, Brother Elijah, that's my man, 50 grand, and we probably 99% holding hands. But what I got, I went and worked and got it. Now, it might match up. Me and him might, and he is definitely my teacher, and I'll go back to him and ask him something, based off of my thinking, bounce it off, see what he think. Yeah, but what I got is mine. And Elijah, nor Bowie, nor any other man gonna take what I got from me. Now, the Lord can show me something different, and it don't mean that he won't use Sharice or Sylvia. He can use whoever he need to use to show me something different. But once you show it to me, and I take it, it's mine now. You know what I'm saying? You got what you got, I got what I got. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like once I take it from you, you ain't got it no more. You know what I mean? So at any rate, let's look at this Isaiah 57, and let's pick this up at verse 15. When you get there, go ahead and read.
For thus saith the high and lofty one.
So who is the high and lofty one?
One that inhabiteth eternity.
So who is that? Sonny?
That's God. That's Jesus.
So that's Jesus. That's your answer. That's Jesus.
That's my answer, but
all right, that's cool. I ain't got no problem with your answer. I just want one. So that's Jesus. That's the high and lofty one who inhabit eternity. Go ahead.
Whose name is holy.
So Jesus' name is holy. We both can agree with that, right? All right, bet. Go ahead.
I dwell in the high and holy place.
So Jesus dwells in the high and holy place, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
With him also. So
Jesus lived with somebody else. Right. That's what it's saying, though, right? Go ahead.
That is of a contrite and humble spirit.
Uh-huh.
To revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones.
Uh-huh.
For I will not contend forever. Neither
that's
will.
That's good. So, couple things here. He says, "Thus saith the high and lofty one." So this is God, but we just saw that God in the same book said there is no other God, but then he just sat there and said he dwelled with somebody else, though. So what is we getting with all this? Okay, now let's go back. Let's go over to 1 Corinthians 15. We looked at this a little bit today. Then we will 1 John, Romans, and then back to Genesis. That's how we'll do this. Because I don't want to spend too much time after last week and how Sharice dogged our Bible study. I'm not going to try to spend too much time on one question. So I'm going to try to make them go a little quicker than normal. You know, I understand that we not at church where you can just lay across the bench and fall asleep and snore like we normally do, but it's all good. No, I'm just playing. But 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and let's pick this up at verse, and we read this today, but I just want to get, so let's pick it up at verse 39. Verse 39.
All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another flesh of fishes, another of fishes, and another of birds.
Uh-huh.
There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial.
Uh-huh.
But the glory of the celestial is one.
Uh-huh.
And the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Go ahead.
There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon,
and
another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star.
I'm going to get there, y'all. I'm going to explain everything we read.
Glory.
Uh-huh.
So also is the resurrection of the dead.
Yeah.
It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
Uh-huh.
It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory.
Keep reading.
It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power.
Mm-hmm.
It is sown in a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body.
So what we're getting at with all this is, look, when you go back up to verse 40, it says there are celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. That's all the bodies that exist. Jellyfish, terrestrial. Octopus, terrestrial. Whales, man, ants. What's the other? The coral reef. I think they say that's alive. That's an animal. I don't know how. But the coral reef. All these are terrestrial beings. God, the angels, and when I say God, the Father, the Son, the innumerable amount of angels, good and evil, they are not terrestrial beings. They are celestial beings. We call celestial beings gods. That's what we call them. Okay? We can find this over and over in the scriptures. Now, and so it says, there's also celestial beings, but not the Most High God. Okay? So, cause I don't want you to think, you just call Satan a god. No, but he's not a man. So then what species is he? Is he species devil? We don't see that nowhere. Is he species Lucifer? You don't see that anywhere. Is he species angel? We don't even really see species angel. The only thing we see is celestial and terrestrial, and the celestial is the gods. The terrestrial are man. That's it. Okay? Again, we are not saying that Satan is a god to the level of, bow down worship. We're saying that as a species, alien. What's the name of your aliens? Elohims. That's what it interprets them. Okay. What did I say we was gonna go out to here? 1 John, right? And then Romans 8. Yeah. So let's do that. 1 John, then Romans 8. Then we'll go back to the question, and then we'll go to the next question. She got me in here going fast. Nah, I don't even know how to act. 1 John chapter 3. No, really, I do. I would like to get questions in. You know what I mean? For Romans chapter 3, and let's pick 1 John 3, and let's pick it up at verse 2. 1. Yeah.
Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and that doeth not yet appear what we shall be?
So the scriptures is saying that we are sons of God. We started off talking about sons of God when we were reading Job. The angels are sons of God. We went to Luke and we saw that we would be equal unto the angels, being children of the resurrection. But the angels we saw are referred to as sons of God in Job. Now are we sons of God, but it don't appear what we will be. When he returns, we'll get like him. All right, go ahead.
But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him.
Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8, then we'll go back to Genesis, and that will hopefully give you a little bit of ammunition, Stan, to deal with it. I know you do. To deal with it, and and to convince the naysayers, because that'd be the other thing. Because, and like you said, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on this, Satan is not a god. He is a species God. He is not man. Then what species is he? Just like you are a son of God, when you get a new body, and that's what he is. He is in a God family, if that's a better word for it. All right. I like to use species because we can comprehend it better. You know what I'm saying? Because we think of when we think of humans, we get that now. Oh, I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying, like, he's not one of us. He doesn't have our seed, our blood. He's nothing like just like you ain't nothing like an ant, but you are, because you both terrestrial. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what make y'all equal or the same. Just like the earthworm. He ain't got no bones, you do, but he terrestrial, you terrestrial. You know what I'm saying? Now, the God, he's celestial, and guess what? By the way, I hope he got 4 fingers and a thumb like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Because we was made in his image. All right. Romans 8. And let's pick it up at verse 12. Because I got a brother who got 5 fingers and a thumb. Oh, that's what you laughing at her? No? Oh, thought you was laughing at because I know this brother who in the word, he got like an extra finger, like a real extra finger there. And so, he may say, God got 5 fingers and a thumb. I think you wrong, bro. I think you got an extra finger. That's what I think it is. But he could be watching this, dog. It's my dude, though. We 20 years in. Romans chapter 8, and let's pick it up at verse 12. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God.
So if you led by the Spirit of God, then what that makes you is a son of God. Remember, so if you a son of God, are you a cat? Dog? You God then, right? Son of a... No. Yes? Yeah. Okay. Because son of a man is shown not nothing more than a man, right? Like, for example, she's human. Mankind. Exactly. Even though she's a woman, because I don't want people to get that confused. All right. So it says, therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify, kill, the deeds of the body, you shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Let's jump down to verse, no, keep reading.
For if ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba.
And that kind of go back to the lesson we did today too. He said, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. Because that's what happens when you afraid. That puts you in bondage to that. I'm going to give you a perfect example. My son is afraid to come down here at night when it's dark. Matter of fact, he's afraid to come down here by himself. You know what that keeps him? Stuck upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Like you in bondage to your fears. He can overcome his fear. He can walk down here, do whatever. And that's just an easy example to comprehend. Once you afraid of something, you put yourself into that bondage. But go ahead, keep reading.
The spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Uh-huh.
And if children, then the heirs, heirs of our God, and joint heirs with Christ.
Uh-huh.
If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together.
Keep reading.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Keep going.
For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
See, so yeah, we sons of God, but we waiting for it to manifest itself. Because we terrestrial beings right now. We are not gods. But when we die and we resurrect, we will resurrect a celestial being, aka equal unto the angels, sons of gods, or we'll be the gods. That's what we'll be. Let's go back to Genesis now. Back to Genesis 3. Go check the origin of our question. And there's more, man. Like one time they spoke about the elders. It was like, don't speak against the gods. I think that's in Exodus. Paul quoted it, but I think and that's what it say. Don't speak against the gods or the rulers. It's the same thing. But I'm just saying, I don't want you to take the word God and all of a sudden be afraid of it. Like every time you saying God, oh well, I must be talking about the Father and the Son. That's not necessarily the case. In this case, we seeing here that the Bible is using the word gods. Let's see how it's using again. Genesis 3 and verse 5. Go ahead.
For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Right. So you're going to be like the rest of us. That's all Satan. Because it ain't right. Think about this, Stan. Who exists right now anyway? It ain't nothing but Adam, Eve, and the angels and the Father. You know what I'm saying? So who else is he? What else is he talking about? You follow what I'm getting at? Yeah. Then to be calling them gods. Right. But he is not saying he's the most high God. None of that. He's just saying us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all he's simply saying. That you know good and evil like the rest of us. Which we know aren't humans, but are the gods. So hopefully that helped bring a little clarity to that passage. Before I answer the next question, I do want to show y'all one more. Let's go to Leviticus just to show. No, I think Exodus. I don't know where. Hold on. Either Exodus or Leviticus, but I gotta find it here first. When he said in the law, when he was like, don't speak against the elders, don't speak against the gods. That's what he say, but he say Leviticus. It's Leviticus where? You know exactly where? Maybe 19. I'm gonna find it. I guess we're gonna have to cheat. Use this old super dope phone we got here. Where the heck is my Bible? We'll use this one. Somebody find it, let me know though, but it was like, don't speak against the gods, and then it was like the elders of the people. But I want the Old Testament joint, because the Old Testament one just said a little better. And it's either Exodus or Leviticus, and I'm getting too old and I don't want to spend the time to look for it. Seemed like me and Pops was just dealing with this too. But I don't know why though. You know what I'm saying? He'll call me up and ask me a question. And then 22. Exodus 22. Yeah, Exodus 22. He'll call me up and because he be done dealt with somebody. He be asking me the question like he don't know the answer. And I'm like, bro, you got the answer. He's like, I know. I just want to make sure that I'm asking it right. Yeah. That's how you do. I want to make sure. I just want to make sure, bro. I'm like, okay, you good. Exodus 22. But I respect that, though, because sometimes, man, you can say something and some people run, and you might not ever see them again. They done ran off of what you said, and now they done built them a whole doctrine full of lies based off of something that you said in passing by mistake. So it's very key that you do the best you can to try not to get this wrong. But Exodus chapter 22, and let's pick it up at verse, what did I say? 28? Yeah, there we go. Yep, verse 28. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people.
So just showing you that in the Bible, when it say thou should not, thou should not revile the gods, this is not talking about gods like Zeus and Osiris and all whatever was going on. This was talking about the elders. That's all. And basically, he's just saying respect your elders. That's in simple form. That's what he's saying. Respect your elders. Don't be bucking up against them or reviling them. So hopefully that answers that question a little bit. Next question. I still got you. Yours easy. You have one? Say it again.
What is the sanctuary of strength?
Okay. She said, what is the sanctuary of strength? I have no earthly idea. Yeah, it's on. It's just not speaker on. Where you see that? I definitely heard what you're saying.
Where it say he shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah. That's in Daniel. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Good question. So let's look at that. I always just took it as it's just the sanctuary that where it's gonna go down. Why does it call it the sanctuary of strength? If I start giving you answers, I'll probably be lying. I don't know why he called it that. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I don't want to make up nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't. So it's like, but we going to read it and make sure we good. But, just like you got the question, I ain't seen it nowhere else either. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's really nowhere, I can't determine in my mind where else where it's considered the sanctuary of strength. I'm going to Google it to see, or whatever we do, to see if it's in here identical. That can help us understand it. But, yeah, that's where we at. Daniel chapter 11, and let's pick it up at verse 28, and we'll start here. Daniel 11, and we'll start at 28. And her question is, what is the sanctuary of strength? And we're going to see that. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Then shall he return unto his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. And he shall do exploits, and return to his own land.
So, we talking about really the Antichrist right here. All right? Keep reading.
At the time appointed he shall return and come toward the south.
So, he going to be leaving Italy, and he going to be going south of Italy, because he really going to be heading toward Jerusalem. So, but south is Africa of Italy, the Mediterranean, and that's the same sea that you have to enter into the Holy Land. Go ahead, keep reading.
But it shall not be as the former, or as the later. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him.
So he said it ain't going to be like it was with some type of ease. It's going to be some problems. You're going to have some ships coming up against you. It's going to be a battle during this time period for this Antichrist that we're reading here. Go ahead.
Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant.
Mm-hmm.
So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
So it's saying, and they're going to pollute the sanctuary of strength. And her question was, what is the sanctuary of strength? And I still don't know what it is. But I know that they're going to, when they start talking about they're going to pollute the sanctuary, they talking about, keep reading that verse.
And shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
So why is it called the sanctuary of strength? So, not lying. My opinion is it's the only sanctuary there at that time, still standing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the strength part is what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the sanctuary either. Because the sanctuary had the Ark of the Covenant, had, you know, the showbread, so on and so forth. So maybe it's called the sanctuary of strength. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like like anything I'm giving you is really an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, I think it would just be because last sanctuary standing. Like, but I really don't know. And so if somebody give you a better answer, it's yours. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really tell you, but I'd rather tell you I don't know than to be trying to make up something and then we have a new doctrine. And next thing you know, we rocking Sanctuary Strength t-shirts or something. You know what I mean? That's how it works. That's how I go down. Like, yo, JD broke it down. Man, I'm finna go give me one of them. Like, yeah, JD gonna have you looking stupid. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the best I can give you, but it's a very good question. I'll put it back out there on the wire, see if anybody give me something that makes sense. I'm gonna tell you right now, I doubt it. But, I mean, because I just was Googling Sanctuary, and I don't even see of strength anywhere else right now, but I didn't get that far either. I'm still in Numbers. You know what I mean? So I would probably look more in Ezekiel, maybe to see it, but just thinking in my top of my head, I don't even see where Ezekiel would bring it up. I don't know, sis. You know what I mean? But you got your hand up?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just
Come. You got to come, bro, so they can hear you on the mic. Sanctuary of strength.
I was just saying, could it be because the third temple is supposed to be built in the world is forward to that? Could it be?
Could be.
I don't know.
That would be kind of going, because that would be the last one. That's the last one. I mean, I get what you're saying. It could be. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I don't know. Stan was saying because the world looking for a sanctuary to be built in the end, and yeah, and as much as y'all really love America, I don't know, man. We winding down, and this one ugly. Like 1 month of no America is not as pretty as you think. Like y'all gonna see. I'm tell you when you gonna know. You gonna know really after the winter time. Cause you know they gonna hope and pray for Christmas in that season to pick them back up. But after this year, you'll start seeing, and it ain't just gonna be the retailers either. Everybody gets affected by this. I mean, what you think they've been selling cars over the last month? You know what I'm saying? We just saw the bailout for the car companies when Obama was in there. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got to keep bailing out the car companies every 8 years? Like, it ain't finna work. We just bailed the banks out. That's been about... Yeah, that was when Bush was in. That's around 2008. You understand what I'm saying? So that's about 12 years. We can't just keep bailing people. Where does money come from? So I'm just saying, y'all, we closer to the end than we think. And I've said this before all this happened. This country been failed. We just don't know it. And now we're beginning to see they starting to pull layer off a layer. Like, we ain't got nothing. So, any rate, I got another question, and then I'm gonna go online. I do see your questions. Yes, that means he is super Holy Sabbath. Yeah, I do see your question. Sis, I'm trying to see what your name was, but anyway, I'm sorry. Those that's watching online, I did see your questions, and we're gonna get to them. We have another question here, and this question is not yours. So Sylvia loaned me some money, and I don't never pay her back. 2 years done went by, I ain't paid her back. I got a new car. I got new shoes again. Y'all know I got some new shoes. Yeah, new shoes again. I just got all kind of stuff. And man, I ain't saying nothing to Sylvia. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only am I, you got two type of people. The one that completely ignore you, and the one that act like he don't owe you no money. Knowing good well he do. I don't know which one worse. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'd rather for you to completely ignore me. At least I know why you ignoring me. But when you act like you don't owe me no money, I'm gonna begin to really think, did you pay me back? Am I tripping? Did I tell you didn't have to pay me back? And none of that stuff really works proper. I think we're going to Psalms 37 first. I think it's either Psalms 37 or Psalms 35. When it say the wicked borrow, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, and I don't know how to spell borrow. Somebody tell me how to spell borrow. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the 2 R's or the 1. Psalms 37. I was right. Look at, I ain't that old. Psalms 37, and let's pick it up at verse. Start at verse 1, and we'll jump through it a little bit. And again, I'm sorry, I was just about to repeat it too. Again, no, you good. Again, the question is, and I probably never asked the question. I just set up the scenario. So what do you do when somebody borrow money and act like they don't want to pay you back? You know what I'm saying? Like, but we in the word though. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say we in the word, hold your spot here. I'm gonna show you something. Go ahead.
Can you go to something for yourself to be the front?
Oh, we gonna go to a few scriptures, bro. Yeah, we gonna go to a few. You wanna do it? I mean, I don't mind. I love sitting down watching Bible study. You got it, bro. Now we gonna get there. Hold your spot here, and let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 6. I think that's where we want to go first, because I want us to establish this first, and why the question is asked, or why I think the question was asked. 1 Corinthians 6. So we'll go here first, and then we will begin to look at more scriptures on how to answer. And this happens all the time, man. That's why, personally, I try not to borrow money from anybody at church. Now, I have. Thanks, Brother Stan. See, told you. I have. I borrow money. I try not to. Or I rather call Elijah. Just me personally. It's not because I feel a certain type of way, but I never want to be in a situation where I can't pay Godfrey back. Like, and really, Godfrey don't want to hear my excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, Godfrey don't, bro. No, he don't. I mean, it's like, and here's one of the moves that black people do. Black people. I don't know. Gentiles don't borrow money from me, so I can't say that they do this or not. Black people, though, will ask to borrow money, tell you all our problems, break down how we plan on paying you back, everything, till we get that money. Once we get that money, and we do whatever we got to do with it, oh, shoot. Now, you know good and well you said the 15th you was going to make that first payment, and it's the 10th, and you know you ain't going to have that money on the 15th. Why you ain't calling in? You know what I'm saying? Or, like, and that's why I start telling people sometimes when it comes to money, like, look here, man, I need this back. See, sometimes you can ask for some money, and I'm like, you gonna pay me back? I might not say nothing because you might be the person that don't pay back. So I want to see. I'm just saying, I can see if you gonna live up to. And then some people I be like I had to tell this one, says, don't do this. I'm gonna give it to you. No, I'm gonna pay you back. Don't do this. Next day, she said she was gonna pay me back the next day. Next day come by, I'm just calling. You know why I'm calling you? To tell you ain't got to pay me. That's the beauty, man. You ain't. I ain't talk. You know what? I think I gave this girl $50. I don't know if I talked to her since. That's when I moved here. I don't think I talked to her since, man. That's sad. But I knew, and you know what make it so bad? I knew when I gave her the $50, you couldn't pay me back. Sometimes you know that. So that's why it's best, just keep it 100 with people. You'd be surprised, they still may not have no problem either getting you the money, helping you find the money, whatever. But it's best for you to tell Dale, let me have. So I'm not sitting here with the burden of owing. Then for me to be like, let me borrow. You know what I'm saying? Because now if I'm borrowing, I'm supposed to be giving it back to you. Okay? Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and like I said, I think this is where the question came from. So pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
What was that again?
1 Corinthians chapter 6. We're going to go to Psalms afterward. I want us to start here because I think this is where more of the question stems from when somebody says, because the question was brought to me, what are you supposed to do? And then we make it so bad, I ain't even get to say who. He was like, it's been some years now. I'm like, dang, but I get that though, cause I known Jake's. And let me tell you though, just to the credit of the individual, I've known a brother out of the thin blue air call me up and say, bruh, you loaned me some money such and such time ago. I'm paying it back today. I mean, we talking, it was some, I was like, huh? I don't even remember. He had to remind me of the day. You know, the day I tore the page out your book. I'm like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, to some people credit, some people pay back. And then like me, I die on him. I mean, people die and I owe them money. And I had talked to my mom. I was like, you think I'm supposed to pay his wife or something? I mean, because I really do still owe, you know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I'm just saying, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. And the main thing is you want to be honest and real with people and stop making up reasons why you need the money and just be 100. I got a drinking problem. I need to buy 4 more. I've been spending all my money on Cavassier. Now I owe some bills. Can you help me? You know what I'm saying? We all know you got a drinking problem. So, I mean, but I'm just saying, keep it 100, though. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead.
Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Uh-huh.
Do ye not judge the saints?
Nuh-uh.
Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Take your time. So you get it? That's the question. He's saying, look, dare any of you have a matter, me versus you, take this matter to the law. He say, look, we supposed to be judges of the world. Why we can't handle this? And that's that's where I would get the nature of the question coming from. Because otherwise, I mean, you know, number one, I could just beat the crap out of you, but I mean that ain't right. And then I could call the police. So why aren't you doing that? Because the Bible says. So now what am I supposed to do then? Keep reading.
And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Uh-huh.
Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?
So you should be able to handle that. That's why the question was presented to me. I should be able to handle it. So how do I handle it? Because dude ain't gave me, or she or whatever ain't paid me back in 2 years. And by the way, they car look good now. And mine's still a little tacky. I could have used that money for my down payment. Keep reading though.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
Now, verse 4 is key. We never bring that up. If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. So sometimes what you got to do is strictly take your problem to Sonny. I mean, I'm just saying he might not be least esteemed, but I'm just saying, you know, you just got to strictly take your problem. You know, me and Sylvia got a problem. And we both might just be like, let's just go take it to Sharice. We'll let her deal. We can't seem to be eye to eye. First of all, what you got to understand is we both like each other. We don't have problems. We love each other. We family. We just got a problem. So we want to solve it. So let's just take it to the person who has the least interest in all of this. Let's take it to them and see what they say. Okay, that's what this is telling you now. So it ain't always that you got to do about the one with. That's an ought. Everything ain't got to be an ought. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the things. Now, in your case, I don't know. Sometimes, hey, look at man. When you say don't play my food or my money, that's how I be though. Sometimes, some people don't. Man, we work too hard for what we got for you to manipulate me out of it, and then now I got to see you balling. And I could use that little bit that I get, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta feel funny asking you for it. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the killer right there. It's like I gotta borrow it back from you and then tell you that you loaned it to me, so I ain't gotta pay you back. You gonna be coming at me like I owe you some money. You know? So he said, look, you take this and you you try to let the meekest deal with that. I speak to your shame is so that there is not a wise man among you, no, not one that shall be able to judge between his brother. But brother goeth against brother, but brother goeth to the law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Yeah. So basically, what he getting at is we deal with this. Now look, I'm gonna tell you when we don't deal with it. Dale, if you come over here and you start shooting up my house, I'm calling the police. You get what I'm saying? Like, cause the alternative is shoot back. You see what I'm saying? So, or like rape. You know what I'm saying? God forbid somebody was to rape one of my little girls, but I'm supposed to not take the law into my own hands. I know, right? I'm supposed to allow the law to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because you got to understand that now we executing judgment. See, we're not talking about execution of judgment. We strictly just talking about how do we handle the matter at hand. Okay? Because, like I say, otherwise, Kenny be done shot up your house and you sitting here, well, I'm not supposed to go to the law. So what you gonna do? I mean, I would shoot him back, but it say thou should not kill. Like, you stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stuck. So it's like it's all still within a realm of how can we solve. Whatever we can solve, we can solve. You know what I mean? But, if somebody just done went and held up a bank, we're going to leave that there. Because banking, you got away. We can use some. Not just playing. But say we can use some of that money. Hey, what do you say? We get a little bit of some of that for my cataract. But seriously, though. You know what I'm saying? If we can handle the matter, we handle it. Now let's go over to Psalm 37. Psalm 37. Psalm chapter 37. And let's start at verse 1 and we're going to jump over to it. Psalm 37, and we're going to start at verse 1 and we're going to jump into it. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb.
So the rule here he's saying here is, don't fret yourself because when people do evil. All right? Now, let's see what some of the evil do. I know we're in the right place. Verse 8. We'll jump around until we get there. Yeah, verse 8.
Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. For evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth.
That's where the kingdom gonna be. Go ahead.
For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be.
Skip to verse 18. 20. Skip to verse 20.
But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, and to smoke shall they consume away.
Go ahead.
The wicked borroweth and payeth not again.
So the wicked borrow and pay not again. You know what I mean? So that's something that you got to consider when you setting me up with that story to get my couple of dollars that I worked so hard for. When you setting me up, just remember, the wicked borrow and don't pay back. Don't be one of them. Keep reading.
But the righteous showeth mercy and forgiveth and giveth.
But on the flip side to all of that too, though, when somebody does borrow, the righteous showeth mercy. And so try to have that mercy. You know what I mean? And so my granddaddy always told me, if you ain't got it, then don't loan it. Now, I've learned a few other lessons too. Life gives to the takers. Life gives to the givers and take from the takers. If you always somebody that's giving, that must mean you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned lessons too. And therefore, personally, I don't trip too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, meaning, I just know you ain't coming back to ask me for no more money. Because I'm going to bring that junk up. Like, there go my money right there right down the street. My money right there on your feet. Like, that's the money I'm loaning you right there. Sell them shoes, and you can go get what you need. You know what I mean? Like, that's just going to be me. And then I still may call you back a little later, like, did you get what you need? You know what I'm saying? Because if I got it, really, I'm good. And if I got it, and you ain't got it, and you coming back borrowing again, then who hurting and who not? You know what I'm saying? So even though you keep bumming off of me, right, Raquel, like that sister we were talking about, if I got it, who was you hurting? You ain't hurting me. You know what I'm saying? And really, when it's all said and done, you hurting yourself because, number one, your name is smut. That's number one. Number two, you ain't got crap. And you probably ain't gonna never have nothing if that's who you are. You understand what I'm saying? If you always got your hand out and never giving. Okay? But at any rate, let's go look at how we handle that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 18. Matthew chapter 18, and then after this scripture, we're gonna go to brother Jacob, and he gonna put his 2 cents in, because Jacob gonna come from the other end of the spectrum, if I'm not mistaken, right? Which is, that's how it sounded.
I just said,
No, what did you say?
I just said, suffer yourself to be defrauded.
Suffer yourself to be defrauded. That means that if somebody takes some money from you, just chop it up as a loss, right? Right? That's what suffer yourself to be defrauded means. And we're going to read that. That's why I say you're going to come from the other end of the perspective. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what we do. Sometimes you just charge to the game, whatever. You know, that's why I'm not really in the habit of loaning out money. I ain't got no money to loan. Unless you got more kids than me, I'm probably not going to loan you money. Now, I'll give you some money. You know what I mean? But, you know, the way I look at it is my hand should be out to you. You ain't got no kids. I got 6. You asking me for some money. I find a problem with that. But that happens, though. You know, it's been, ever since I've been having kids, it seemed like people hand be out. But that's what I learned, though. That if I'm able to bless you with something, that must mean I'm straight then. And I'll take that. And I'll live with that reputation that JD be straight. You know what I'm saying? Which I do, regardless of what. I've been grown over 20 years now, and I can say I ain't never been rich, but I don't pretty much, when I want something, I got it. I mean, okay, I don't have an Escalade right now. I do want one of those, Raquel. but seriously, I don't want one that bad, because we would have it. I mean, honestly, I'm just saying, like, if I wanted it that bad, you know, we'd be one table down around here and a couple computers short, but I'm just saying, so the Lord has blessed me so that I'm not really the one. But at the same time, though, through my adult life, sure, I mean, I done got cars and houses, and people that gave me literally houses. Like, here, you live here for a while. You know what I mean? So, you know, and you got to keep that in perspective, too, that adults need help sometime, too. That's what it was taught. You know, grown people need help sometimes. So I heard a man say, basketball player. Go figures. If man ain't taking care of his kids, he ain't really a man. I'm like, well, dang, mister, I'll shoot the ball into the basket for a living and make $10 million a year. It must be nice. You can make those statements. I know brothers out here that, man, they will do whatever for their kids and it still ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? They just can't get enough. So I don't believe that either. You know what I'm saying? And like I told my mama, what she left me is more than money. Because, you know, sometimes some parents, you know, you ain't got no money. You ain't never had no money. Y'all been on welfare, whatever, but you raised your kids. Some people can't do that. And now your kids got more than what you did. And all. So, you know, but anyway, Random Raven. Matthew chapter 18, and let's pick it up in verse 15. Matthew 18 and 15, when you get there, go ahead and read.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee.
So when you ask the question, what am I supposed to do? You got to take it to him. Even, you know, if it's going, see me, I ain't going to trip. I'm not. After a while, that long, forget about it. But I might, though, if you flossing. You know what I mean? Like, if you being a little braggadocious about it, I might have some issues. But, I mean, you know, if you know, I might even bring it back up just so I can say, you good. But I just want you to know that I remember loaning you some money that you never paid me. I just need to get that off my chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might even do one of those numbers because really me, I learned a long time ago, money come, money go. You know what I'm saying? I done seen plenty of it come. I done seen plenty of it go. I done had the most money in the day, and I done been the brokest of them all. You know what I mean? Like, that's, so it's just, money just don't move me like that. You know what I'm saying? But we sure do need it, and if we got it, and we ain't got it, you know what I'm saying? We feel it. All right? So I'm not going to act like it ain't important to have. So it says, moreover, if thy brother should trespass against thee, borrow your money and never give it back because he wicked, like it say in Job, Psalm 37. Go ahead, middle of 15.
Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
And $50.
But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
And I say this all the time. Don't tell Sonny. Sonny, Sylvia did me dirty, right? And, she ate all my pickles, and I'm ready to go over here and deal with it. She was dirty for eating all my pickles. Like, I can't tell him what the matter is. Oh, come on with me. No. Like, that's how I be getting people, too. Like, brothers call me, I need you to be a witness. What happened? Because when you tell me what happened, I can't be no witness now, bro. You done messed up. Next person who do that, you need to just tell them and be like, I just need you to be a witness. Because I don't be one of them. Sometimes some people argue over the dumbest stuff to me. And that's all I'm really going to sit here and tell you is, both y'all sound stupid right about now. And now both y'all ain't going to like me. Because y'all put me in the middle of y'all argument. But all in all we getting at is, you got a problem, you take it to them. You don't tell the whole world, like I said, him and him alone. And then if he hear you, you gained your brother. And that's what happens when you got problems with people. If they hear you, they might, like I said, sometimes some people don't know. It's just like, I hear Sister Nah, and I'm saying this, I hear Sister Nah who complains about y'all women here. So at first, I took it serious. But now, I say, if you don't open up your mouth, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going back telling them all of what you think, because I disagree, because ain't nothing at this church anyway, that's what I said. Ain't nothing at this church but old women and mamas. So, I mean, if they ain't studying you, it's old women and mamas, and they ain't thinking about you. But, you got, so I just left it alone this time. I'm not coming back to Feast of Philly. I wasn't going to feast with them this time if it wasn't for Corona. I was going to go to the Carolinas. I'm like, really? As much hell as I went through to get this spot, that's what you finna tell me? Like, not, it was great, or thanks a lot, or we made the most. That's what, because the sisters? And then I say, what sister? And I want to know this time, who is you? Well, no. Why is you bringing this to me right now, then? But see, like I said, you don't know the hell. I went in this time. The first time I heard it, I said something to the women. But this time, so you can't open up your mouth? I'm not trying to be that same person no more. Huh? The book tell you. That's the point we're getting at. The book say open up your mouth and say something. That's the person that you're supposed to be. Not afraid to be who you used to be, or afraid to stand up for yourself. Either way you look at it. None of that is what you need. Fear. Leave that out the door and go do what the book say. Or just go somewhere else, act like it's going to be better. That's cool. Because it ain't. Because you know what I learned in life? When you always complaining about what's going on, 9 times out of 10, it ain't about what's going on, it's about you. That's what so you take your problems and you take them somewhere else, and they'll exist there too once them people get more comfortable. And really, to be honest with you, I don't even agree. So I ain't even saying that we got problems in this case. Because what you don't know this time was, I watched. See, last time I wasn't paying no attention, I didn't care. This time I watched. But I digress. So go ahead, keep reading. What verse?
17.
Uh-huh.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
Right. So he's like, look, you don't want to hear what I got to say? Then you take it to the church. Take it to the brothers. And that's why I'm saying it's important. We don't just play church. We are a church. And I do understand the church getting beat up right now. Hey, life is like that. You get beat up sometime in life. You can quit, or you can keep staying in the fight. But you take it to the church, and then the church has the authority now, because of the way that you have developed. Because of the chain of command that you went through. Now the church has the authority to make the decision, like the book say. So, what verse did you stop at?
17. But I want
Go ahead. 18, 19, and 20.
All right. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Uh-huh.
And whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
So whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven, even to this debt. And if you loose the debt, then it's loose. when it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? But whatever decisions we make, that's how it go down. Like, that's how the Lord look at it. The Lord gives his church power. That's what Israel means, to have power with God and with man.
You said 19 and 20.
Go ahead, 19 and 20.
Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
That's good. What was the what's that, defraud?
Suffer yourself to be defrauded.
Suffer yourself to be defrauded?
Yeah.
Where that's at? Self to be defrauded. Oh, that was in 1 Corinthians 6. What, we just skip past it?
I think we went to it.
Yeah, but we stopped at 7. So go back to 1 Corinthians 6. 6 and 8. And then we'll look at we'll look at another one too, though. So, I mean, I can show you be long suffering, but from the way I heard the story, you've been a little long suffering. It's been a while. At some point, you gotta open up your mouth and be like, or you can let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got. I mean, you know, sometimes me in my world, man, you know, sometimes I just figure, I look at situations when some people do stuff, and I say, this is gonna be my opportunity for me to grow and be bigger. And seriously, like, I'm gonna be bigger, and you're gonna be smaller, and that's how we're gonna lead this. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, you maintain you ain't even on my level, and that's really how I function with people. Even though I'm gonna smile, love you, whatever, but I'm gonna know, like, you ain't even on my level. You can't think like me, you can't walk like me, you can't because you can't even talk to me right now because you owe me $10. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid to me. Like, Carl, if we was cool enough for me to get to you to start with, you don't think we're going to be... Yeah, I might be like, bruh, it's the same story from last week. But at least do that, though. You know, I knew a brother who would keep doing stuff. And you know what he would say? You have to forgive me, brother. Oh, no. But the point is, like, that's how he would come. He would do something. I mean, it wasn't like every single day, but... It's probably every month. But he would do something wrong, and we'd get all together, and he'd be like, yeah, y'all brothers got to forgive me. And we all in the book. So it's like, yeah, he got a point. We got to forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you learn in that is, so he gets how much money again? Because I ain't giving him nothing. That must be your money you giving him. You know, that's what I really learned in all that. You know what I'm saying? When in dealing with this brother, he don't get a dime. Matter of fact, when it was all said and done, I ended up cutting all working relationships with this brother out. I couldn't do it because I can't conduct business with you because you ain't straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have me all twisted with you, messing with you. Ain't nothing gonna ever be right. You know, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do something, and because I'm dependent on him, now I'm gonna have to, so I'm gonna look bad. You know, none of that, all that stuff don't never work. So what I do is, you know, you can be you, trifling, whatever, broke, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be bigger than you. That's another way of me handling it. But, you know, it depends on what that check was for too, though. You know, check was big enough. I might need mine. We might have to come knock on your door every night. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, though. And let's pick it up. Let's pick it back up in verse 4.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. I speak to your shame. It is so, that there is not a wise man among you, no, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren.
Go ahead.
But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another. Why do ye not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
Go ahead, keep reading.
Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. Now he's
saying you doing wrong, like to your that's your fam. Like, what he's saying is, but brother go to the law with brother, and not before the and that before the unbeliever. Like, you gonna take this to one of them? put them in your business. Then he was like, now therefore there's utterly a fault among you. Like, it's a problem among you because you go to the law. You go to the law one with another. Like, because I keep calling the police on you. So now it is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think if I keep calling the police on, they'll lie. I'll call the police. They'll lie to me. I'll call the police. They'll say he's going to be here at 8. He got here at 9. So I call the police. I mean, I'm just saying, just about, or, so Dale didn't give me my money back. I went and bought the chicken. He didn't give me his cut. You did, so I called the police. Like, there is a problem amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Number one, I'm a snitch. That's what, you know what I'm saying? But number two, like, y'all can't handle this? Like, I mean, like, y'all acting like some little, you know what I'm saying? You can't handle your problems. And that's how we supposed to be able to handle our problems. If I got a problem with you, we supposed to be able to man. He should be man enough to own up to it. I should be man enough to bring it to him. You know what I'm saying? That's how this works. That's the only way it's going to work. So, and then let it go. That's the beauty. Like, with me, I'm going to bring it to you. We're going to chop it up. I'm done. Honestly. I'm not even finna, this ain't finna be something. I mean, we might joke about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we got cool, I might crack a joke a year later about what happened. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, though, it ain't no, like, that's only if we got cool. Other than that, I'm just not going to keep coming up. Because I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I bring it to you and we addressed it, I'm finished. Honest to God. You know why I'm finished? Because I want God to be finished with me. And so that's really the way how I treat people is how I want God to treat me. So therefore, yeah, holler at your boy. I need God to holler at me. Please let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be holding this one over me. So then that'd be the same thing. I'm going to holler at you. Like, we good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to still be cool with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not, I might not give you no more money. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still be cool with you. You know what I'm saying? Or no, you can't get the keys to my car. Mister, you ain't got no license now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tore up my car, you don't want to pay for it, but you want the keys to my next car. Yeah, you hold that thought. As a matter of fact, while you holding that thought, here go a bus pass. Because you ain't driving this one. But go ahead, keep reading.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Right, he said, because when it's all said and done, the unrighteous do not inherit the kingdom of God. That's what so if somebody going to keep being wicked like that, then they ain't going to get into the kingdom anyway. And you, see, really, he tell you, he with your spiritual judges all things. That's really what he telling you. If you keep running up on somebody and they keep doing you a certain type of way, well, you judge a tree by the fruit that it bear. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all. So now what you going to do? You see what I'm saying? You see that this person is a habitual liar. You going to keep hanging with that person? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just something to think about. So hopefully that helped clear it up a tad bit, if not enough. So let me check the online and then we'll get to, let me ask first. I know we got one online. We got any more questions in here, in-house? You got one? All right. I ain't forget about the other one. You got another one, though? Or the same one? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Ask your question.
In Revelations 2 and 10, is that talking about like an actual prison? Or?
I like that. So today we read, that's a good question, from Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Today we read Revelation 2. I'm going to start it at 8 as y'all turn there. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life. Yeah, it's talking about literal prison. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10. Yeah, boys went to jail for this, though, but we wouldn't be the first. Let's see. So where was Samson at his last days? He was in prison, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. That's when they took his eyes out and all that. He was in prison. What about John the Baptist? What was his last few days? Yeah. What about they locked up Jeremiah, didn't they? See, like they locked up Jeremiah, Joshua. I mean, we could keep doing this list. You know what I'm saying? Like we could keep doing this list. Paul, who? Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Daniel, they locked up. They sentenced Daniel to death. That's what they sentenced him to. Put him in. So I'm just saying, like, it ain't nothing new. So when it's saying prison, it's saying prison. Now, let's think about this. Martin Luther King went to prison, didn't he? Bunch of times, didn't he? Protesting, right? Being disobedient to the law because he felt like it was contrary to human rights. So what do you think gonna happen when they say, y'all can't do this on Saturday? You not gonna do it? Now, if you doing it, and don't act like they ain't gonna catch you doing it, cause they gonna catch you. We stream, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Like so yeah, you might be in that number. You know what I'm saying? Like of where they lock you up. But let's go to Matthew chapter 10 first. Matthew chapter 10, and let's pick this up at verse I guess 16. We'll start at 16. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Yep.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up,
see what he's saying here though. He like, man, you gonna be before governors, like, you know what I'm saying? It might not even be low level like that. You know what I mean? Like, and he said, with all that being said, he was like, you should be brought before governors and kings for my name's sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So he's saying, like, when it's all said and done, everybody gonna have to give an account for their work. So if somebody come at you for us keeping the commandments, when it's all said and done, that you are really a witness against them. So it's like them coming against you is a check on their name for wrong. You know what I mean? So it ain't pretty. So me, like, knowing that, really, my thing is, like, you know, I might say to the police, why you lie? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm coming with righteousness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not, man, get your hands off of me, blah, it is. You know, I'm not, but, like, right now, you in trouble for doing this to me. You dig what I'm saying? Like, right now, I'm trying to save you. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't hurting me. But see, that's the thing. We be afraid. You know, and trust me, I done been locked up. I don't want to go. But if you doing it for this, I'm sitting, baby. You know what I'm saying? Call it a day. We'll just worry about the world when we get back out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the world ain't going to be over. And if it is, then, shoot, I guess I'm good. You know what I mean? But keep reading. What verse?
19.
Uh-huh.
But when they deliver you up, take no thought on how or what ye shall speak. For it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak.
How is that going to happen?
For it is not that ye that speak.
It is not ye that speak.
But the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
Mm-hmm.
And the brothers shall deliver up the brother of death to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
Keep going.
But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another.
Uh-huh.
For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come.
Keep reading.
The disciple is not above his master.
That's what I wanted to take it to. The disciple ain't above the master. So he locked up Jesus. Yeah. It could happen to us. He talking about real prison. Let's go look at one more. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation, I think 13. Revelation 13. Maybe. I don't know. I have to look and read it first, but I think that's what we want. Revelation 13. Any man in the killer with the sword must be killed by the sword. The patient was going to make war with the saints to overcome them. The power was given over. Yeah, okay, we can read this. So let's go to Revelation 13. And let's pick up with 6.
And he opened his mouth.
5.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
And so we back on that Antichrist here. Okay, and he gonna rule for 3.5 years, 42 months. That's the Great Tribulation period where people think that we gonna be raptured, but there is no rapture. Go ahead.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
Go ahead.
If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Go ahead, 10.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So, I mean, we here, though, just showing you, you know, like verse 7, how you say they're going to be at war with the saints. They're going to overcome them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, the Antichrist, is going to have that type of power where we're going to be doing more than just going to jail. We're going to be dying. So going to jail is the least of our problem. You know what I mean? But, yeah, that's a real prison that we're talking about. So, hopefully that helped clear that up a little bit. So, let's go. Okay, what's your other one?
Luke 16
and
16.
Luke 16 and 16.
Does that mean that there are no more prophets after John?
Yeah, it does. To a degree. So he asks about Luke 16 and 16. Does that mean there are no more prophets after John? And as far as prophets bringing prophecy, word of God, yep, there's nobody. The whole Old Testament pretty much pointed you to Jesus, and then John came to tell you, here go Jesus. That's a wrap. You understand what I'm saying? So no more. So like John the Revelator, he didn't bring you a new doctrine. Everything you find in Revelation, it's all throughout. You know what I mean? And we saw earlier today that David was a prophet, and his book is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? He prophesied something. The Lord said it to my Lord, sit thou on my right hand until I make that. That's a prophecy. You know, so yeah, the last of the prophets is John the Baptist. After him, ain't no more. Now I do say in the latter days, our young men gonna prophesy. You know, prophesy. I mean, prophet.
Yeah, right. Prophecy.
Right, dreams, and
dreams.
I guess prophesy prophecies or something to that. Right. It don't mean we don't have prophecy, but you ain't getting no new one though. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't no Nostradamus, dude. We about to be 9/11 here and Corona over there and whatever else. You know, this ain't none of that. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something, we should be able to find it. But let's go read this scripture real quick. Luke 16 and read verse 16.
The law and the prophets were until John. Since that time, the kingdom of God is preached, and every man presseth into it.
Okay. And then it's another one where it say, well, the law and the prophets were until John. So like that's you gotta, when you read, you gotta try to have a good level of understanding, so that when you reading it, you don't read it and then you say it one way and
Assume it, and then,
you know, like a question and you don't ask it.
Yeah.
Like, are those your grits? And then you might be like, are those your grits? That's kind of the same thing. That's not really I don't even know how to do it. But the point is, you want to ask a question when it's a question. You know what I'm saying? Make a statement when it's a statement. When it's the Lord, sound like it. You know, the Lord is not wimpy. Thus saith the Lord. You know what I mean? He ain't like that. You know, like, but you'll get there though. The more you do, yeah. So, but again, so he said the law and the prophets were until John. So yeah, like it was up before then. After the law and the prophets, whatever they brought, it was up until John. Once John came, now let's see one more thing about John. Let's go to is it Malachi? Yeah, Malachi, chapter 4, and See, I can't ask him, do he want to do it? He'll say, yeah. Malachi chapter 4. And what verse you said in there? Yeah. All right. So let's look at, we're going to, Malachi chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. Malachi 4, verses 5 and 6. Malachi 4, verses 5 and 6. All right. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Right. So he said, behold, I'm going to send you. He said, I'm going to send man. That's who you are. Elijah the prophet. So you might say, Dale, what that got to do with John the Baptist? Go ahead, keep reading.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers.
All right, now let's go to Matthew chapter 11, and hopefully I paid enough money for my Bible to not be wrong. Yep, we good. Matthew chapter 11. And yeah. So it was prophesied that John was going to come. So it just said, I'm going to send you Elijah the prophet. That's what it said before. So now we're going to see, and when you recall, in the Old Testament, as far as greatness and individual men, you know, David, we see him as a great one. Solomon was a wise one. Moses was a cold one. And then really you got Elijah and Elisha. And Elisha got the double spirit of Elijah. Like, when I say that, like, you don't really see many other men in the New Testament. You know, you got Samson, you know what I'm saying? But you don't see a whole lot of characters in the Old Testament just doing stuff. It's people there, but I'm saying it's a lot of people in the Old Testament. Kings on top of kings, all kind of prophets. You know, Jeremiah a prophet, but he wasn't walking around here, you know, doing miracles though. You didn't see that from every individual. All right. So when you go to the Old Testament and you look at really who got the most powerful version of the Spirit of God, basing it off of your ability of what you've done, we would probably put Elijah in there. Elijah brought somebody back from the dead. You dig what I'm saying? So, in so many words, what I'm getting at is, if we go back to the Old Testament and we doing an eyesight test, and we're not God, who's the greatest prophet in the Old Testament? Elijah, definitely, his name gonna be up there. Daniel ain't bring nobody back from the dead. Daniel ain't split no seas. You dig what I'm saying? Like, Elijah did all that, all right? And Elisha had a double portion to him. So, even though Elisha may have outdone him, if that's how you feel about it, it was only because he received, God gave him that same spirit, okay? So, now, with all that being said, we was in Malachi, Elijah been dead. And now he's saying, I'm going to send Elijah for you. But Elijah dead. And we learned today, dead people ain't coming back from the dead. So now we're going to find out what that means. Matthew 11, pick it up at verse 1, take off.
And it came to pass, when Jesus had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples, and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another?
So he said, are you the one? So he said, and it came to pass when Jesus had made the end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John heard, notice where John at, in prison, the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples, said unto him, are you the one that's supposed to come? Because John been telling people when somebody's supposed to come. Or are we supposed to look for another one? These are John's disciples, right? Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto them, Go and shew John again. Go and show John again these things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. And as they departed, Jesus began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, What went ye out into the wilderness?
So he's talking about John. Like, what was you trying to see when you went to see him? Go ahead.
A reed shaken with the wind. But what when ye out for? What went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment.
So like, what you was trying to see when you went out to see John? Like a man clothed in soft raiment. What? What is you trying to see? Go ahead.
Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in king's house.
All right, he was like, man, like what you thought you was supposed to see when you was looking for, like, a great man. What was you looking for? You know what I mean? Like, honest, it's just like, it's funny too. Like, when I first heard Brother Bowie, and when I saw him, I was like, yo, you small. Same with Danny. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put a picture in your head of what you think something's supposed to be, and so that's what Jesus saying, like, what was you really looking for? Did you think John the Baptist, did you think this guy was supposed to be, like, sitting out here in the king's house, decked out, looking up, fourth in the nation? But go ahead, keep reading.
But what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yea.
He's like, you went out to see a prophet. Yeah, go ahead.
I say unto you, and more than a prophet.
Right, go ahead.
For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee.
So he's saying this is who we was reading about in Malachi. He is the one that was coming, the messenger. He was like, so what, you went out to see a prophet? This dude more than a prophet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he said. Even though my man's ain't did no he ain't did no miracles. You dig what I'm saying? He ain't make 5 loaves and or like Elijah had the chick who all she had was like 2 pieces of bread left or something, and they said they ate and had bread and oil for days. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't do none of this. All he did was preach. And he on the top of the food chain when it come to great prophets. So he said, for this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Go ahead, verse 11.
Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
So notice, this is what the Lord saying. Amongst women, ain't nobody been greater than this dude. That's why he come in that spirit of Elijah. Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
But if you make it to the kingdom, then you outrank John. His earthly rank. It ain't like, he gonna make it too. So hopefully that helped clear that up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically, John, the last of the prophets. You know what I mean? And he didn't even really come with no more of a prophecy than here come Jesus. You know what I mean? He had that spirit of Elijah. But when it's all said and done, he the only prophet I know jumping in the belly when Jesus was just in the room with him. That's amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine 2 pregnant women and one pregnant woman baby just going bananas because she around another baby in another. How you know all this? But that's what was happening with John and Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this dude had the Holy Ghost from his womb. So yeah. Hopefully that helped clear that up a little bit. So Amos chapter 5. Jamil, I hope I said that right. From down in North Carolina. I know who you are though. Had a question about Amos chapter 5. Peace from Israel Church of Jesus, North Carolina. Question is about Amos 5:20-22. Israelites use this to condemn people in the world about man-made holidays, but from the context, it seems to be talking to Israel, not man-made. Yeah, you right, sis. Sorry, would not let me post. Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, you right though. So go ahead, bruh, and read those 2 verses in Amos.
Chapter 5. First and second verse, or what verse?
Nah, what was it? 20?
Amos chapter 5, right?
Amos.
Or Amos.
Chapter 5, 20-22. Yep, Amos 5, 20-22.
Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness, and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? I despise your feast days.
Where you at?
You said Amos 5, 20 and 20.
Oh.
I'm at 21.
Oh, I see. Okay, go ahead. Yep, you're right.
I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Yeah.
Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
Mm-hmm.
I let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream.
Skip down to verse 26.
But ye have borne the tabernacle of Moloch and Chiyun,
Yeah.
your images, the star of your God.
Okay. So, yes and no. Turn to Job, chapter 9, and we're gonna help this sister get it. So he was talking to Israel, period. Job 11. He was talking to Israel, period. At the time when he was speaking to them, absolutely, he was talking to Israel about the feast that we did, period. And you even saw some of the gods that we dealt with. The god of Molech, and what was the other one? Yeah, whatever they said. You know, we was just like now we dealing with these false gods. So it's really the same people, but now we don't deal with the Passover and the unleavened bread as a nation of people. So with that being said, what do we deal with as a nation of people? We deal with Molech and Mithra and all these. So he's still saying the same thing to the same people. It's just then it was, we was doing a whole lot other stuff then, but we still guilty today. So it's still relevant, and I'm going to show you what I mean by it's still relevant. Job 11, and let's pick it up at verse 4, 5, and 6, and you'll get what I'm getting at. Like the Lord ain't got to tell you but one time, and if it work, it work. So then that can work. If he told them then, he telling us the same thing today. Mm-hmm. You outie? Oh, okay, no problem. You next in line, huh? There is 2 around here. If somebody really needs to use it that bad. Go ahead, though.
For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in thine eyes.
Uh-huh.
But oh, that God would speak and open his lips against thee, and that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is.
So when you start talking about the wisdom of God, it's double to that which is. So just because it applied back then doesn't mean it's not going to apply anymore. Like, it still worked today and then. So, sis, to answer your question, you are actually correct. Your question again is Peace from North Carolina. The question is about Amos 5 and 20. Israelites use this to condemn people in the world, but about man-made holidays. But from the context, it seemed to be talking to Israel, not man-made, and that is correct. They was our feast days that we dealt with then that he didn't want no more. He didn't want nothing from us no more. But the reality is he's still talking to the same people, and we're still dealing with the same gods. So he's still looking at our feast days the same day he looked at theirs, maybe even worse because we don't step so far away. Or maybe not as bad because he might look at it, I didn't give you as much. I don't know. But regardless, though, he pissed at both houses. The old school house, and he pissed at this new era house that we in. And like he said, verse 4, Job 11, for thou hast said my doctrine is pure. Then he said, verse 5, but oh that God would speak and open his mouth against thee, and that he would show thee the secret of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. So it's always more to it than just that little simple one time, one place. You know what I'm saying? It could apply elsewhere. Like I always say, if it's the truth, it's the truth. It's just like Christ died in the midst of the week. So now Daniel chapter 9 is saying he should be cut off in the midst of the week. Is that talking about Wednesday? It's not. Did he die on Wednesday? He did. So does it fit? Of course it does. But that was talking about the midst of a prophetic week. But if it fit and if it worked, then it still worked and it's still good. But if you're trying to get, that level of understanding, then absolutely, sis, he was talking to them then about the feast that they were doing then. But then you got to look at us. What would he say to us? Same thing. So hopefully that helped you get some understanding, sis. And Lord willing, I'll be able to make that run down to North Carolina next month so we can do a baptism and hopefully we can figure out where we're going to all meet. I skipped your question. Sorry, Sister Elizabeth. I ain't see your question. Oh, if you dream if you dreams and then what you dreams come to pass, does it mean you have a familiar spirit or to get the prophecy? No, it don't mean none of that. It just means you had a dream and, because you can have a dream and all of a sudden, like they say, my grandma dreamed about fish and grits or whatever, and or whatever. Yeah, somebody's pregnant. I don't know. I mean, is you telling me every time you dreamt about that, or you mean to tell me that every time you dreamt about it, somebody got pregnant? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. We understand, and we're going to read some scriptures. You turn to Ecclesiastes. We understand dreams in many levels and many platforms. We know that God has talked to people about dreams. I have had dreams. When I woke up from that dream, I got on my knees. Lord, show me what that means. Because there's no way that dream didn't just mean nothing. But I'm going to show you what dreams are so we can first establish this here. Where we going? Where we going? I know, but where?
You didn't say where.
You don't know?
I hear what you said.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5?
Yeah, I just thought you would know. You ain't hear them in the other room? You ain't hear the peanut gallery? 5. Yeah, they already there know.
Late.
Yeah, man, ain't nothing new under the sun, man. JD don't reinvent the wheel at all. Keep it real simple, to the point. So we'll start here, and then we'll go to Deuteronomy. And really, and I apologize, Sister Elizabeth. I did not mean, I ain't mean to miss your question. I did. I ain't even gonna say nothing to you, bro. You wait till the cameras is off. I got you. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Let's pick him up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Keep thy foot when thou goest into the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Mm-hmm. For they consider not that they do evil.
Amen. That's something. Just thinking about this scripture right here. Like we understand the house of God to be church, right? Mm-hmm. So, we got it a year ago. Like when we was going to church, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get it. Because the church was never the building. But you think about it as the building. Right. But it's really us. And so what he's saying is, when you get around us, shut up. That's what he really telling you. Keep thy foot when I go to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than get a sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. But keep reading.
Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God.
Yeah.
For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few.
And let me show you how that's so much. The people are so much the church, and the people are the living word or the living representation of God. When you go to the New Testament and you look at Acts, right? And you see Ananias and Sapphira, right? And they go in there and they lied about what they sold, right? Peter and them didn't say y'all lied to me. That's who they lied to, though, right? They was like, you lied to the Holy Ghost. So that just lets you know that it's not about the building. It's not about the name Israel of God, Israel, the Church of Jesus. None of that is what make this a church. It's the people that come together. That's what make it a church. When you say, oh, well, how come we know your name is put, because like when we were dealing with the feast, and it's like, wherever the Lord should put your name there. You know what I'm saying? Well, how do we know it was there? Because that's where the people are. We decided this is where we're going to be. Then that's where the church is. This is where the Lord put his name at. It ain't got nothing to do with titles of the church, or even titles of, or particular buildings, like the building in Riverdale. That church ain't got to be open for the Israel of God to have church every week. If the people going to have church every week, that building don't never have to be open. You know what I'm saying? And the same as us. If we want to have church every week, it don't never have to be open. But at any rate, because we are the church. But at any rate, there we go. Verse 3.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of business.
So notice how dreams come. Dreams come in the multitude of business. Meaning, what's on your mind, it tends to, and it happens to me a lot, it tends to affect your dream world. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, like, sometimes I'll be like, man, I must have been thinking about such and such. I'll be done dreamed about Sylvia. And it's like, she must have really was on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just that, like, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? But, again, though, the Lord can show you some stuff. Like I said, sometimes I have dreams, because I know he showed Nebuchadnezzar, and He showed the Egyptian king and, the Pharaoh back there in the days of Joseph. And he showed people through dreams, and it don't have to be that they an Israelite. So I might have a dream, and I'm like, Lord, show me what this means. Because according to Daniel, it says, matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Let's go to Daniel chapter 5. And then we'll go to Deuteronomy, and then we'll go to our next one. So I'm trying to get them in and out, Sister Sharice. So that I won't have the Brother Ira syndrome. Oh my God, it's 9:30 and still. Oh yeah, the IC, yeah, they up in New York too, together. We might not see them till 9, 10 at night.
Daniel 5.
I think we're going to Daniel 5. No, we're going to Daniel. Actually, we're going to Daniel chapter 2. And the answer, he said, King, why is the decree? Then Daniel went and desired, and Daniel went to his house. It was twice, but I want this one. Yeah. Daniel chapter 2, let's pick it up at verse 18. Yeah, pick it up at 18. Daniel 2 and 18.
That they would desire mercies of God, of the God of heaven concerning this secret. Mm-hmm. That Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon.
Go ahead.
Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said,
time out. So Stan.
Yes.
So I'm doing this one more. And then you can take it. You can close us out, or you can answer any more questions if we got them. But right now, we don't have none. All right.
Yes, sir.
But I'm just saying, because I'm doing 2 hours, and then that's 5 hours for the day. I'm sitting down. And I don't like doing Bible study sitting down. So I'm just letting you know. But where we at, bro?
We at verse 19.
All right, go ahead.
Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding.
What else he do?
He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what is in darkness, and the light dwelleth with him.
Right. So the point we get, this is right before he about to break down the dream. And he's saying, like, Daniel giving all praises to God. He know the secret things, the dark things. So that's who you get your answers from. So you having dreams and you need to know if they from God, just go ask them. But here's the real rule to it. Deuteronomy 13. So your question, again, was, and I'm going to rephrase it because I don't want you to think you crazy because God talking to you in your sleep. That could be the case. Let me tell you something that I learned. I don't tell nobody nothing that God done deal with. You say you done seen some angels, I'm not finna sit here and argue with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that if that's between you and God. You know what I'm saying? If you foolish enough to lie on God about it, that's on you too. But I'm not gonna turn around and be like, well, no, you didn't. Don't nobody get to see angels. I don't know what you seen. You know what I'm saying? Or, I remember Nate used to say all the time, Nate had that thing where he said he couldn't move when you be in the bed.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. And so, now I've never experienced that ever in my life. So from the outside looking in, I'm screaming BS. I'm like, bro, ain't nothing. But I don't think you about to lie about something like this. So what I've learned is I'm not gonna deny that happened. I've never seen it happen. But I'm not going to tell you that didn't just happen to you when you just sat here and described it with you had all the fear of God, and you telling me that Satan, it was an evil spirit there, and you can feel it. And I'm not going to argue with you. You know what I'm saying? Because number one, I don't want to experience what you experienced. Yeah, I don't want that experience. And number two, I can't tell you didn't have that. Same thing with you, Sister Elizabeth. I can't tell you that God ain't showing you stuff in your dreams. If he is, let me know. Cause if God is showing you stuff, hey, I want to know if he gonna make us rich. That's what I really just want to know. Tell me what the number is, and we go play lotto or something. Because I don't mind buying up a block. But no, seriously, it don't make you evil, cause God share with you things via dreams. But Deuteronomy 13, pick it up verse 1. Deuteronomy 13 and 1. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods.
So he say, look, if the prophet come and he give you sign or the wonder, what he say come to pass, but then he tell you go after other gods. So that's when the problem come, Elizabeth. Not that you have a dream and it come to pass, but if you start telling us that we got to deal with Easter, don't say it too loud because these women might kick your butt. But I'm just saying, we ain't buying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how that roll. Like, that we ain't buying that. Because he said, we know, I don't care what you say can still come to pass. But I don't care what come to pass, you ain't true if you telling us to serve another God. Deuteronomy 13 and 1, pick it up again. Start it over. Go ahead.
If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign of wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him.
Go ahead.
And cleave unto him, and that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death. See,
that's what we're talking about right there. So, like how you said, and cleave unto him, period. Stop for a second.
I know.
Next, yeah, because you just ran them in. And that's, you can't do that. Go ahead.
Because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage.
Right, so he's saying if the prophet or that dreamer of dreams should be put to death. Why? Because he spoke to turn you away from your God. It don't matter whether what he said came. It still called him a prophet, but he's saying, but look, this stuff turning you away from your God, that is a problem. And so that's all that matters, sis. Like, I'm not saying your dreams ain't accurate. I don't know. Like, I'm not going there. But I'm saying, just don't come in here talking about we need to start going to church on Sunday. Because we're going to stone you with some sticks. No, you ain't going to get no ride home. That's what's going to happen. No, but seriously, though, all jokes aside, that, yes, you can definitely, that does not make you evil because your dreams are predicting the future or whatever. It don't make you nothing like that. So hopefully you got some understanding on that. Just make sure that you ain't telling folks things contrary to the word of God. So our last question come based off of Elijah's question last night that was posed to him. And it's about what make you married. And so Elijah did a very good job of answering it from what I heard last night. Let's turn to Exodus. I'm going to do kind of what he did, but I just want to address something in all that. And, I would be cheating if I said...
Exodus 22.
If I said, he said the same thing as me. Right, because we've been chopping this up. Like, this ain't nothing new. So I don't... It's like we, and he went all the way there pretty much like same thing. I mean, sometimes I hear him and it's like, well, I guess that's my teacher. So it's kind of like you already know because that's what, it's the same concept. And so the point that we getting at in all of that is, look, do you got to have a marriage certificate to be married?
He said
Now, the answer is no. Now, see, me, I done learned a whole lot since all of this. So I like to, what's the word? Differentiate the words of husband and wife and marriage. And the reason I like to do that is because a marriage is a union of two people. Husband and wife is what you gonna be. You know what I mean? And because I argued with a brother for about 4 hours one night, and what I got most out of all of that is when you sleep with somebody, you are married with them. The problem that we have is the term marriage equates to husband and wife. And that's not accurate. That's what I'm getting at. What I mean by that is A marriage is a union. You can be married to the game, as they say. You could be, you don't have to be, marriage, every time we think of marriage, we think of priest, husband, wife, no. Marriage is just a union. By definition, just a union. Husband and wife, though, is what we're talking about. So, I'll try to continue to make the difference when I speak. Typically, though, when we speak of marriage, we're speaking of husband and wife. All right? But now, let's go to Exodus chapter 22. And you'll understand what I mean by that when you read the Bible more and you read it, then you'll get it a whole lot more. Because this Jake was on the phone for hours.
Verse 16.
Yep, verse 16. Exodus 22 and verse 16. When you get there, go ahead and read.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
See, it didn't say he should marry her. It said he should be his wife. Then it didn't say he is his wife. It says he's supposed to endow her to be the wife. Like, meaning he's supposed to take her to be his wife. So that means when they woke up that morning, after he put the Rudy to the Tootie, when they woke up, that's a nice way of saying it. When they woke up, they wasn't married. He was supposed to take her to be married. Now, here's the thing. We are always talking about the reverse process. Like the relations ain't supposed to come before the marriage. Like when you look at Joseph and Mary, they was married. They were husband and wife and had not come together. How do you know that? Because when she was pregnant and he found out it wasn't his, he was going to put her away privately. You don't put away women that ain't yours. So that means this was his woman. All right. A husband and wife is an agreement. And the reality is, in our day and era, there's agreement between men and women. But honestly, biblically, it's an agreement between two men. Because when you understand the process or what a woman is, she belongs to her father until she's married. So therefore, she ain't got the right to say. It's just like Micaiah. That's just like if you come to Micaiah talking when you marry me, you talking to the wrong one. And she's supposed to be telling you that. Like, bruh, she should. First of all, the answer is no. But secondly, she's supposed to be saying to you, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go holler at my pops before this go down, because that's who holds the women's vows. Now I know America don't teach that, thanks to Susan B. Anthony and the rest of that crew. That now all of a sudden, it's all equal, but biblically it's not. And there's a great conflict and interest in the way that our homes are run, because the world has given women this equalness, entitled her to this equalness, even gave her enough so that she can hold her head in this man's face as being equal, to the point where if he don't want it to be so, she can pick up the phone, call the police. Like I see my man was pissed off, Steven Jackson was pissed off because left his girl at the altar because she didn't sign the prenup. And so you think, and see, let me tell you what that prenup does. That prenup gives me back my power that I should never have to get anyway. It's my power. I'm the head of this house. So if we gonna split, it's supposed to be on me, and I say what you gonna get. That's what the prenup allows me to do. You not wanting to sign it means that you gonna tell somebody else that they got the right to tell me I gotta give you half of mine. They ain't got that right though. Not biblically. You know what I'm saying? So whereas some people, because it was somebody posted on Facebook or whatever, some people was tripping. More women was tripping, like, he gonna leave her at the altar about not signing the prenup? I'm like, yeah. And it's the principle of it. Can I have my power, please? Can I be I'm gonna give you everything. If we ride or die to the end, it's all yours. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I walked in here with $20 million. You walked in here with $2. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, you just earn all of this now? Like, no, I earned all of this. It belongs to me, just like you do now. And if you act accordingly and you don't act like a dummy or go cheat or whatever the case is, then of course everything I got, I'm gonna treat you like a queen. But I need this prenup because the land got too much power right now, and this give me back my authority. Yeah, I agree with that. But at any rate, we're gonna read some more. If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he should surely endow her to be his wife. Go ahead.
If her father utterly refused to give her unto him.
Oh, so the daddy can refuse. then what? He can just take her anyway?
He shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Right. That's why it said in Leviticus 19, don't cause your daughter to be no prostitute. Because, like, I get money for you sleeping with Micaiah. You know what I'm saying? So I can say no and then be like, so who next? You see, I'm saying no. Like, and we could just all of a sudden keep getting paid. You know what I mean? And then, okay, we're gonna stop with you. You know, Negro number 100. You know what I'm saying? After we done made some bank. And, you know, we just tested all the brothers out. Like, no, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, marriage is, husband and wife is deep to God. He compares that to him and his church. So it ain't nothing to play with. So, you know, it has to be a real reason why you making that move, okay? So, let's turn over to Deuteronomy. I think we want Deuteronomy. Chapter 21. No, 21. We can look at 22 too, but we want 21. Yeah, we want 21. Yeah, we want 21. I'm glad you said 22, because that means you ain't caught this one. Deuteronomy 21 and 10. No, I only say that because we get to learn. That's why I say that. Deuteronomy 21 and 10. So what I'm trying to show you is that there has to be, so ceremony is the question. We got to have a ceremony. Look, it ain't got to be no ceremony. It has to be somebody has to recognize this. Now, typically, if I got a daughter, we gonna have a party or something after. I'm happy, you know. I'm happy, but I don't have to do that though. I could just say yeah, but it has to be some recognition, some authority just higher than me. Like with Adam and Eve, that authority was God. Some authority that's just higher than me to say me and Raquel married. You know what I'm saying? Even if the church is the authority. So I come to y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is my wife. Then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. There go my witness. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been saying it, I've been saying it. Like, no, God ain't looking for no piece of paper. Because what happened if your piece of paper get burnt up? Then you ain't married no more. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't, but at the same time, no, trust me, it helped. And right, when I say it help, do some taxes single and do some taxes married. See, do it help. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Like me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got child support issues. You know what I'm saying? Never had, never will. You know what I'm saying? Because I got one wife, all my kids by her. And it's not even so much that part. It's just we married. Because if I had one woman and all my kids was by her and we wasn't married, trust me, my name be on somebody's list. Even if we living in the house together, it's crazy. They be locking brothers up. I know brothers be locked up, babies at home with them. Because they ain't pay child support. Now, how we, it's nasty out here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It be nasty out here. So Deuteronomy 21, let's pick him up in verse 10. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them unto thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive.
Yeah.
And seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
So you see the captives and you see a little, a cutie Hispanic or whatever. I don't know what you done, one of them Australian Aborigine women or something. You know what I'm saying? Some old, what they call them Australian people?
Aborigine.
Oh, Aborigine, yeah. So you see, she got pretty bone through her nose, whatever the case is, So you see one of her, go ahead.
And has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife.
Right. Notice what it said. It didn't say that you desired to marry her. It said you wanted her to be your wife. Again, because that's what I learned most. Husband, wife, that's the union that we bring in, that marriage brings together. Marriage is, by definition, a union of two people. That don't have to be, when y'all laid up in that bed, y'all was making marriage. You know what I'm saying? Which makes sense too when you say that angels don't give him marriage. Now it's not about, that ain't about husband and wife. That's about that union of being one. Okay? That's what marriage is. Husband and wife though is the official. See, when we think of marriage, we think of becoming husband and wife. Again, the term marriage is a union. That's where the word started. So that means like, you don't have to, it's hard to say things and not have you thrown. But like you don't have to be about man and woman relationship for it to be a marriage. Like you could work in a company and it's the perfect marriage. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not the like it ain't like you slept with the company. It's a union. That's what it is. A union. A marriage is a union. Husband and wife is another term. Okay. And so notice what it says here. It says, and she is thou amongst the captive, verse 11, a beautiful woman, and has desire unto her that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible does this. It makes it clear so that you know, so there's no bones about it, what she's going to become. You know, what this is going down as. But keep reading though.
Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house.
So now you got some rules. Here go the authority. The book is the authority, and what does it say?
And she shall shave her head.
So she got a process to go through. It ain't like, oh, you sleep with her and y'all married. She got to shave her head. What else?
And pare her nails.
Cut her nails. What else you got to do?
And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
So you see, all this is the rules before she can get married. So it ain't like he can just, this is a woman who was a captive that you went and captured. The point is, there's always some type of, it ain't just, oh, let's just go jump in the bed, wake up in the morning, and we straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, then what? Like, you know, well, we can go tell the world we married then. That's cool too. Like, but it ain't like, you know, me and Sylvia sleep together and then we ain't gonna tell nobody, we're just gonna be secret lovers. But we really married. Right. That don't make no sense, do it? Right. Like no, if we gonna be married, then we gonna tell everybody we married. This is my wife, I'm her husband, you know what I'm saying? Blah, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta tell everybody we slept together anyway. Don't really matter, honestly. You know, because you take, you know, I ain't saying to stop at 80, but if you take an 80-year-old man and an 80-year-old woman, if they ain't slept together in 6 years, they've been together for 60, what, they ain't married no more? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So it ain't really that union. And here, by the way, here go definition of marriage, so y'all know. So the noun, a legal formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. Then it says historically and in some jurisdiction, specifically a union between a man and a woman. So they basically saying that usually it's a man and gospel. Like when you mix, you know, like, or when you merge two, like he said, man. So part of our problem is we're taking the term marriage and we equating it to husband and wife, when in reality, husband and wife mean just that. And marriage don't necessarily all the time mean husband and wife. It's the best way to put it. But at any rate, if thou should bring her home to thy house and should shave her head, par her nails, and she should put the raiment of her captivity off of her, shall remain in her house and bewail her father and her mother a full month, and after that thou should go in unto her and be her husband, and she should be thy wife. So then you can marry her and y'all husband and wife. You know what I'm saying? Like you can sleep with her now and be husband and wife, or be married. That's how we use it. You can sleep with her and be married after she did the things she was supposed to do. So it ain't just like, oh yeah, they slept together and they was married. There was rules. There was some type of standard or rules that you had to abide by. Like I said, around here, we ain't asking for a piece of paper, but we gonna all recognize this, yay or nay. And I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna be like, so is y'all married? Yes or no? You know what I'm saying? Like that. I just want to know. If it is, cool. If it's not, hey, that's the rumor right now. You know, you slept. Then I'm gonna tell you straight up. Well, if you slept with her, hey, here's how I go down. You know, fornicators got this set of rules, or you gonna take this woman to be your wife, or you know that. You know, I'm gonna chop it up with you. But if you had, that's ain't. I don't know nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So at any rate, I just thought I'd show you this one here. This man, he couldn't just take her home and lay with her and then wake up that morning and be like, yo, this wild woman, my wife. She had to go cut her neck. She had a whole formula of things that had to be done. to meet the satisfaction, to meet a set of standards, to meet some law, to meet some authority. Okay. Now let's go look at another case. Let's go back here in Genesis. Genesis, and this is probably, do I want this to be the last one? No, we'll read this one and then we'll go to Corinthians. That'll be the last one. Just because. Where are we going though? Genesis chapter 31, is it? Yes, 29, 30. Does anybody know where I'm going? When did Jacob and them get married? 39, 29? Yeah, probably is. Yeah. Laban got her. Okay, yeah. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 29. Genesis chapter 29. Especially if the rest of the family, yeah. Okay. So what happens if one of us is like, oh, Lord, and dies and there's no marriage? Like, yeah. Who is it? Yeah. That's what Elijah was saying last night. This sister here, it's cute. But you in a car or something? But anyway, no, it's cool though. She say, I'm just reading the question. I ain't see who it was. Right. So I guess she saying about the marriage license. Yeah. Okay. So what happens if someone, one of the other one dies? Is there no marriage license or nothing? Who is in control of the funeral service? The finances, everything. Especially if the rest of the family don't believe. And that's exactly what Elijah was saying last night. That this actually happened, where they was married, but the family wasn't in the word. The wife was, or the husband. I don't even remember what it was. Right. And so next thing you know, the family come in and debold everything. And so, I'm not telling you don't get a piece of paper. I got mine. And the reason I got mine more than anything was because of my family. And that my family was not going to understand, period. My mother-in-law walked in at 4 a.m. on us, on me and Raquel, like, this ain't right. I don't care what we was just laying down. She ain't walk in. Right. She was like, we was on the living room floor because we spent the night, we came home, that type of thing. So we just came to visit. And I guess it was weighing on her spirit for the last 3 to 4 hours in the bed. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, in the middle of the morning, I ain't got none but respect for her, because some people, you too scared to open up. She came in there like, no. Like this told me she believed what we were saying. So she woke up like this because she wasn't. So we trying to explain what we laid together. She say, I done laid with all type of men. So I'm married to. So I get what she was saying. Like there is, like somebody somewhere somehow got to recognize this. And for my mother-in-law to say that, hey, I can't even say to her, well, you was at the wedding, because there wasn't one at that time. Or here go my paper. So technically, my own mother-in-law can say, y'all niggas ain't married. Excuse me. Y'all Negroes ain't married. She can say that. And there's nothing I can say about it except, well, God said I am. You understand what I'm saying? Which doesn't take away from that. But I'm saying, in the world, to your advantage, it ain't gonna hurt. $60, I think. Maybe not even that much. Get your piece of paper. That's all. You ain't got to have no ceremony. You want to have you can do ceremony in the same place my mama did, in the basement.
Whenever they open up that hall, man.
Oh yeah, I went to one. I went to one a wedding. That's one of the dopest weddings I went to. Was at the Justice of the Peace. Because we sat in there and clowned on the bailiff, because his ears was like this big. So we sat in there and clowned the bailiff the whole time. And then we in the back of the courtroom. Then some deaf man came in there to court and had his 7-year-old interpreter. Now y'all know the judge ain't trying to hear that. Judge was like, we got to do this another day. You got to get somebody. So that day was hilarious. Then we went into the office, did the marriage. Then we went out to Ryan's to eat. Cool, perfect, cool. Yeah, cool, perfect, great day. It ain't got to be grand. Okay? Now, let's look at this, though. This one a little grand. Genesis chapter 29. Now, you might say, this don't say wedding. Jesus was at a wedding. This ain't wedding. But let's think. Go ahead. Pick it up at verse 1. This will be my last one. And it look like we're going to close it out. You might get a pass, Brother Stead. I don't see no more questions online.
There's something down there that pertains to this.
Oh. No, maybe I don't. You talking about Sister Laquita?
Yep.
Yeah, I mentioned all of that.
All right, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Pick it up at verse 1.
Then Jacob went on his journey and came unto the land.
Genesis 29.
Then Jacob.
In verse 1?
Yep.
Verse 1.
Oh, you don't want to read all the shouting?
No,
You there?
that's not what it. Now mine ain't.
Oh,
saying
Jacob.
the same
Oh, we're
thing.
Genesis 29.
Then Jacob went on his
No,
journey.
Jacob-
I'm in the wrong space.
Oh, okay.
My
I know where I'm at.
like, sure.
I'm waiting on her to get
What
to
I'm
her
saying to
spot.
him, I'm saying to him like
I'm waiting
she
for her to
said-
get there.
She said you ain't at the right spot. Why are we reading the same thing? I'm like, how we both at the wrong spot? Genesis 29. Go ahead, bro.
Then Jacob went
We
on
ain't
his
studying
journey
Sister Sharice,
Yes,
bro.
you are.
She is not the teacher. Go ahead and read.
and came unto the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and the great stone was upon the well's mouth.
All right. So let me read a little bit. No, I just want you to hear it. Then Jacob, verse 1, went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stones again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brother, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, and the son of Nohar? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. Now you read, but you ain't got to read like me. I just want you to realize that I stopped that sentence. I stopped at periods, paused at commas. I slowed down instead of messing up the word. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's an art to it. So you can slow your reading down and eventually pick it up, but do it right. And then as you pick it up, it'll work better. So sometimes when I feel like I'm starting to mess up reading, I just slow down so that I concentrate on the word at hand, and I'll go word by word till I can pick it back up. So just a little pointers. But go ahead. What verse?
8.
And
they said, We cannot until the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep.
Go ahead.
And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban,
That's good.
his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother.
Yeah.
And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept.
Yo, I wonder when that happened. I know that ain't happened day one. He ain't just like see her, kiss her, and start crying. Like, my God, what she look like? Go ahead.
And Jacob and Rachel told Rachel that he was her father's brother.
Yeah.
And that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month.
Go ahead.
And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
All right, so Laban's starting this off. He was like, man, you shouldn't be dwelling me for nothing. What you want to get paid? All right, here's what he want though. Go ahead.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed.
Not that cute. Go ahead.
But Raquel was beautiful and well-favored.
She sure is. Keep reading.
And Jacob loved Raquel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Raquel thy younger daughter.
Uh-huh.
And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
All right, so peep the game now. He did not say no. His answer was, it's better for me to give it to you than somebody else. But he didn't say yeah either, though. Because a lot of people be trying to say that Laban tricked Jacob. But the reality is, Jacob just didn't. He did kind of get tricked. He did kind of get tricked. But, just in reading it, it don't sound like, it sounds like you weren't reading the fine print. But keep reading. We're going to read a little more, see what happened.
And Jacob served 7 years for Raquel.
All right, so this is really what we're getting at. So 7 years prior, it was, I have nothing. I'm here working with you. So I'm going to work for your daughter for 7 years. That's what I agreed to. So I'm going to work 7 years. So now we at the end of the 7 years. So the question is that a lot of people have is, well, is this a marriage? No, it's not a marriage. Is this a marriage ceremony? Is this a wedding? No. It's going to tell you what it is. And now we're going to read that part and then we're going to keep going. I'm going to tell you more. Go ahead.
And they seemed unto him.
What verse?
20.
Uh-huh.
And they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
Keep reading.
And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
Go ahead.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
So the question is this a wedding? No, it's not. It's a feast. That's what it's called. A feast for what? Probably because Jacob just finished working for 7 years and I'm finna give my wife away. My daughter away. So it's what we would call a wedding, I'm sure. Is it titled that? No. Is it a random feast? Surely could be. If it was a random feast, aren't we going to talk about the fact that me and you sitting here drinking? Ain't we going to toast? Aren't we going to recognize? Aren't all these men about to recognize that I'm about to get your daughter? Now, they probably know and probably laughing. They probably in on the plan. Like, yeah, keep him drinking. We're going to give him Leah when it's all said and done. You really going to do this, Laban? Uh-huh. Because I can't do it no other way. And, the rest of the men might even know was Jacob's clueless and drunk right now. But the question is it a wedding? We say what weddings are today. You know what I'm saying? Where was Adam and Eve's wedding? When God made them. You understand what I'm saying? So is this a wedding? We're not going to say yay. It's a feast. That's what it's called. Do we think that they all knew tomorrow morning that Jacob was going to wake up with Leah? They probably all knew except for Jacob. And Jacob just knew Raquel and he was wrong. But we're going to read some more. So again, when you say, is this a wedding? That's a hard no. You understand what I'm saying? Just because weddings are how we perceive them. This go before the law of Moses. You know what I'm saying? This a man having a feast, but we know what's about to happen the next morning. We know what's happening that night, and we know what happened the last 7 years. And why the heck is this even in here if one ain't got nothing to do with the other? Okay? So, again, directly, really not, you really can't say this is a wedding. Because it doesn't say this is a wedding. But let's see what else to say here. Go ahead.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter.
This is after the feast. Go ahead.
And brought her to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah.
Yeah.
And he said unto Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Raquel? Wherefore, when hast thou beguiled me?
Well, you tricked me. This is what he's saying. He was like, man, and so when what he's saying is what I would be saying. Like, bro, I worked here 7 years. We just had a freaking party last night. You did not tell me that when it was all said and done, I was about to walk out with Leah. But you know what Daddy gonna say? Well, you slept with her. Now you should have thought about that when that fourth drink, that fifth drink. You should have noticed everybody was giggling around you. You should have paid some attention. Go ahead.
That really considered like the ceremony.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't want to. We, America, we have wedding ceremonies. Well, Jesus went to a wedding, right? And they had wine. It was a wedding. That's after Roman time period. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so that's all. We after Roman time period. That's all. We Greek. That's what we are. We Greek. So even Jesus and them, they're Greek. This go before Greek. So when you ask, is this a wedding? I can't give you that answer per se. What I can tell you is, because it doesn't say wedding, it says feast. Now, is this the Feast of Unleavened Bread? No, that wasn't even there yet. What I can tell you is, in this chapter, I'm working for your dad, and he say, you don't need to work for free. What can I pay you? I say, I want Raquel when I'm done. He was like, hey, it's better for me to give my daughters to you give my daughter to you than somebody else. So then I work my 7, and now we having a feast. So this is just that random. You understand what I'm saying? And even if we do a feast every month, every week, every year, why is we mentioning that right here in our writings, right behind me telling you I just worked for your daughter for 7 years? So wedding is Greek. So I don't know if we want to marriage. See, but I can't answer none of that because it's a feast. What I'm saying is common sense is telling you what we ain't mentioned this the whole night before. It's the next morning when he lay with her. So I'm not trying to say no at all. I want to say yeah, but we can't say any of it because it's not there. It's just called a feast. But I'm saying common sense is going to tell you that if I just had you work for 7 years and we having a feast tonight, I'm never going to mention. And then you get my daughter that night that I never mentioned to anybody. I done called all these men over here. I ain't mentioned the note. Yeah, I did. This is the wedding.
That's what I was asking.
Right. But I have to answer the question the way I just answered it because does it say wedding in there? Right. So what I'm saying, when I say this is the wedding, this is what we would, if this was our world, that would have been a wedding. We would have wrote wedding in there. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know if they had, obviously it wasn't no preacher. You get it? That's a wedding. Obviously it wasn't nobody doing the I do's because the I do's don't work between men and women.
What I was going to say was, solidify that it wasn't, according to today's standards, a wedding, because nobody goes to a wedding not knowing who they're going to wake up next to the next day, right? Like, nobody...
Typically. But we ain't done reading this stuff.
Right. Like, nobody's going to say, oh, I'm going to this ball, and when I wake up, my wife, who I wanted to be with, is going to be there. Nobody does that, right?
Right. Right. I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is his expectation was he should have had his wife that he worked in there for. And he... Right. So, right. But also in our weddings, we exchange vows, right? None of that was done. But the vows don't get exchanged between men and women, though. Right. So therefore, they ain't got to have, that's what I'm saying. When you say wedding, it's kind of like hard to say yes to because what we do for wedding, what they was about to do is not even on the same page. So it's hard to, you know what I'm saying, equate the two. But for a lack of a better word, we can say this is a marriage. But I can also see another brother coming behind me and be like, no, they just had a feast. I get what you're saying. You dig what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. But come on, man. Let's use some reasoning. We're going to get there. I'm going to teach it. We're going to get there. I'm going to teach it. We're going to get there. Go ahead, bro. What verse are we at?
26.
Mm-hmm.
And the man said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
So know what's going on right now. He's saying, look, he is the authority right now. In my country, we don't get down like this. The younger does not get married first. That is the law. That's basically what he just sat there and said. This is the law. So then what happens next? Go ahead.
Fulfill her week.
So now here comes the next arrangement. So we could say that feast might have been a feast in honor of the completion of our arrangement, our agreement, or our covenant. See, we using word like marriage, a wedding, but really, we don't really see that back then. You see what, like, you don't see, you just see he took her, like, you don't see a wedding to call it a wedding, because once you see a wedding, you identify it with what your weddings are. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this ain't got nothing to do with that. This is about men. You notice he said he called the men in. You know what I'm saying? This is about men. The women probably in another room laughing at Jacob too, because they all know what's about to go down. Raquel the only one who don't know. Probably Raquel and Jacob about the only two that don't probably know what's going on, and she might know. But go ahead, keep reading. What verse?
And 27. And we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Raquel his daughter to wife also.
Right. So he gave him Raquel his daughter to wife. Notice how I didn't say to marry. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you know, these terms have been stretched into our society, but the reality, marriage is a union of people, and husband and wife is what they are. What they done did? They okay? All right. So hopefully that helps clear that aspect up. I don't. Oh. Why did Abraham send the kids of his second wife away? Okay. His second wife? Oh, I guess that is his second wife. Hagar would be his second wife. All right, come on. Come on, Stan. I started to answer it, too. I'm like, nah. We gonna let Stan get one on, man. That's the last one, I think, Stan. You can close it after that if you want to. Unless we got some more and you want to. I'm out. All right, my brother. Lord willing. See you next weekend. I'll let you know when I find that. It's around here. Trust me, it's around here. Yeah. A little bit. It's gonna show its face. Ain't no telling what I do. Why? Where you gotta go? And I ain't check no plans. Where you trying to go? One more question. I got it. All right.
Pregunta.
What's the question again?
What was the question? Why did Abraham send away his second wife, Hagar?
All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 25.
And the kids of his second wife.
Of the kids?
The question is
25, right?
The question is, not Hagar, the woman he married after Sia died. All right.
What'd you say? Can you go to school for free now?
Hold on real quick.
That would be nice.
Oh, she said Keturah.
Oh,
yeah.
concubine.
Oh, good luck with that one, my buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. That's what.
Oh, the other wife.
Yeah, that's the third wife.
Yeah.
Third. Yep. I know the name. I know somebody named Keturah. Genesis
25, you said?
Yeah, Genesis 25 and pick it up at verse 1. Let's give this a crack. Let's see if I can answer this. Why are you laughing? Alright. Genesis 25 and verse 1, brother. When you get it, go ahead.
Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokashan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokashan begot Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asherim, and Letushim, and Lehum Mim. And the sons of Medan, Ephah, and Hanak, and Abidah, and Edah.
What verse you at, bro?
25.
What verse you at?
Where'd I go?
You wanna know what verse you at, bro?
I was at 25, but
No, you at chapter 25. What verse?
You said from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where am I at now? I'm up here. Medan.
You in verse 4. All right. Go ahead, bro. Read that.
And the sons of Medan, Ephah and Epher, and Hana, and Abidah, and Eldaha, all these were children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life.
All right. That's enough. So read 4 and 5 again.
4 and 5 again?
Yeah, read 4 and 5 again.
And the sons of Midian, Ephah, Epher, Hanak, and Abidah, and Eldaah, all these were the children of Keturah. Continue. Oh, you said 5 too. Yeah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Continue, or
that was what verse?
That was verse 5.
All right, so it says here in verse 5, and Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Then verse 6, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Well, what I gather from here is he probably sent them away and because Isaac was the child of promise, was he not? Let's go back to 21 real quick. Go back to chapter 21. Because, the same thing that's happening here happened earlier. His other wife, right? Genesis 21. And pick it up at verse, where I want to start, brother. Pick it up at verse 5. Go there.
And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him.
Go ahead.
And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me.
Go ahead, brother.
And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age.
Go ahead, brother.
And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah said, Sarah saw the son of Hagar and the Egyptian which she had born unto Abraham, mocking.
Go ahead.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son.
Okay, so we see she said cast out her bondwoman and her son, but keep reading.
For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son.
Read that again.
For the son of this bondwoman
shouldn't what?
Shall not be heir with my son.
See, she's not going to be heir with her son, right? Go ahead.
Even with Isaac.
That's her son she's talking about, right? Because the heir was promised to Isaac, was it not? Keep reading.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight.
And what happened?
Because of his son. And God said unto Abraham.
Now, if something was wrong here, what did God say?
Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad.
Because who want to cast out their son, man?
Right.
That's his boy, right? That's going to be grievous to anybody. But God said, look, don't let that be grievous. Keep reading.
And because of thy bondwoman and all that Sarah hath said unto thee.
Go ahead.
Hearken unto her voice.
God said, listen to her, right? Why?
For in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
See that? Because Isaac, the promise was given to Isaac, right? Keep reading.
And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread.
Go ahead.
And a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder.
All right, so that's good right there. So where's I'm looking for hold on, let me find that real quick. So apparently, back in Genesis chapter 25 verse 5 and 6, they was cast out probably for the same reason, because the promise is given to Isaac, no other son that he has, right? Where's that at, Godfrey? I caught you out there. Hold on. Yeah, I get it.
Gotta commit it to memory, man.
It's too much though.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. Taking notes.
Genesis 17. Go to Genesis 17, right? Now watch this. Genesis chapter 17. Genesis 17 and pick it up at verse let me see where I want to go first. Start at verse 11. No, start at 13. Go ahead, and 13.
Genesis 17 and 13.
Go ahead.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with thy money, must needs be circumcised.
Go ahead, keep reading.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised...
No, skip down to 17. That's 17. Good. Skip to 17. Yeah, I see it.
Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed.
Go ahead.
And said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
Go ahead.
And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Now, I know this is not the third wife's child, okay? I understand that. But what I'm saying is they was probably cast out because the promise is not given to them at all. It's given to who? Keep reading.
God said, Sarah, thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
And what?
And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant.
I will establish my covenant with Isaac for an everlasting covenant. Keep reading.
And with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget.
That's good, bro. That's good. So we just went there to see that the promise is given to Isaac, right? So go back to Genesis chapter 25. You got something to add on that, JD?
No. I was looking. That's why I started reading. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how you was answering it. And then when I see where you were, I'm like, I don't even know how you answered it.
So, basically, she wanted to know, was that a she? I am sorry. Let me see again.
Shake my hand.
That was a female?
Yeah. Lynn Israel.
Okay.
Should be. Why did Abraham send the kids off of the second wife?
The third wife. So, yeah, right. I took her back to Genesis chapter 21 to show that, Ishmael was cast out from, and why he was cast out. Because she seen that the son and the mother was being mocked. What's her name? Sarah. And then she said to him, cast him out. And the Lord said, don't let it be grievous. Hearken to the voice of your wife. And showing them that the promise belongs to Isaac and the other son of his. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. I think you're right. Did you read it? You read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, I think you're right. The promises was given to Isaac, nobody else. So it wasn't nothing to give to nobody else.
Right, absolutely. So
go.
Well, that's it then. I read all those chapters. So hopefully that answer your question, sister. Let me see. Is anything else on there? Let me pull it up.
Oh. Okay, good. So we get all those. Okay. I was thinking when you said New York, because you was like, you said New York got some too.
Who said that?
I thought he was telling me like New York got like, make sure some of mine is for New York. He said New York got some too calendars, so them all us. That's good.
Okay.
So did you get a calendar?
Yeah, the one you gave me was for Andre, right? Yeah.
That's it, boss man. Get up out of here.
All right.
I mean, you ain't gotta go home.
Well, we don't want to be 8 hours like a certain other two. Let's stand.
Tell them your number listed, Stan.
It's listed.
Go ahead, brother. Close this out.
Hey, y'all, we about to close out. Just yell and tell them they about to close out.
Go ahead, start or wait till you
Isn't it this way?
Yeah, just give them about. You don't give them like all of 60 seconds.
Yeah,
That is nice.
You were casting to the TV?
No, I just was watching it.
How's that?
No, that's YouTube. Full screens, split screens, all that.
No.
All right, come on. Yeah, bad one. This
Oh.
is an Android TV.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thy will be done,
Thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
In Jesus' name,
In Jesus' name,
amen.
amen.
Right. The Q&A.